gentlemen, it's 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night. You know what that means. The Old Humble Whiskey Happy Hour is about to begin. Get your cocktails ready. Get yourself situated, and let's get the show started in just a few minutes. That was the sound of me opening up the first bottle. Hope you're doing the same. Start the countdown. Get this party going.
A little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
All right, I know. I need to get that updated. But we'll do that in some point in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, I am the Old Humble Guy. I am your host, your spirit guide, the, local sin merchant, chief degenerate in the Humble Woods. I am your guy here on the Old Humble Happy Hour. Tonight we are drinking our Old Humble Special Reserve because it's delicious. I mean, what more do you want, right? I am drinking it neat because I forgot to bring ice into my office, the pandemic studio, as I like to call it. The Old Humble Quarantine Cocktail Happy Hour Pandemic Studio, hashtag Pandemic Studio, trademark, copyright, whatever else. Welcome to our Wednesday night happy hour, our Whiskey Wednesday night happy hour, I guess is what I've officially branded as, our Whiskey Happy Hour on Wednesday nights, where science and philosophy and history intersect with whiskey. How does it intersect with whiskey? Well, I drink whiskey and I sell whiskey at the Old Humble Distilling Company. I do that, and tonight we're talking about hamburgers, making the perfect hamburger, as a matter of fact. What is the perfect hamburger? Well, we'll talk about that in just a couple minutes. I do have like 3 announcements to make with regards to the distillery. I was going to do a live stream today from the distillery, transferring our rice whiskey from the fermenter into the pot and doing the distillation of the rice whiskey. If y'all were tuning in earlier today, you would have not seen that because the fermentation was a failure on the rice whiskey. So I had to dump the wash. Dump the grains, and we're going to try it again in a couple of weeks. I don't know what the problem specifically was. I've got to go back over my notes and look and see what I did with the temperatures and all that stuff. But my hunch is that I didn't get the rice hot enough to get the starches out in order to get a good conversion of starch to sugars, which is why the fermentation failed. It was that first initial boil, and I didn't boil the rice. I just added boiling water to the rice. So I gotta figure something I got to figure out an alternative solution to doing that problem. So I'm 99% certain I'm going live tomorrow from the distillery, probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to bottle up some whiskey. We'll talk about the rice. We'll talk about the failed distillation process. We'll talk about, or the fermentation process. We'll talk about all the general processes that we do at the distillery. Um, and I'll probably do a very small batch of the rice, uh, a very small batch. I'm talking like a gallon, 2 gallons of the rice in order to get the fermentation going on the rice properly, uh, to confirm how that's supposed to go and make sure it goes properly. Shout out to chat. Cheers, Mike Carrier, for joining chat. Appreciate you jumping in and joining us. You are the second person. I'm the first person to comment generally on my chats because I have to test the chat and make sure it works. But you're the second person, so technically you're first. So welcome into the chat. Second announcement to make from the distillery. Second announcement to make from the distillery is our road show is start kicking off again in the beginning of July. Literally the beginning of July, July 1st. The road show starts back up. We head out onto the road around Houston. We're making the rounds around Houston. We're making the trip around Houston. All of the evenings are, or all of our tastings are from 5 to 8, which means my original planned show on Friday, July 1st, is going to be moved to Sunday, July 3rd, which is the night before. Well, I might just go ahead and do it Monday, which is the night of Independence Day, July 4th, the night of Independence Day. Do it Monday. We'll do our 4th of July and 600 subscriber spectacular. I am launching off 600 rockets from the woods in Humble. I've got a few supplies that I need to get a hold of. I've sourced out all of the rockets. I've got 440 of them right now. I have the remaining 200 or so identified as far as what it is that I want to get. I've got like 3 or 4 options for the remaining 200. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be yet, but I've got 3 or 4 options I'm looking at. I just need to go to the shop, point at them, and say, gimme, 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 gimme. And then my fireworks guy will more than happy to oblige with this reign of terror and destruction as we get it and have it all put together. And yes, I'm going to be recording the whole thing, and it's going to be dope as hell. Of course, the actual fireworks show, the fireworks launch, the 4th of July Spectacular, will be on the 3rd of July, and then we will cut it, edit it, put it out on probably the 5th or 6th for the 4th of July Spectacular, because we've got all the stuff that comes that leads up to it. You know, the buying of the fireworks, the documentary style assemblage of the fireworks, and you know, me turning into a sweaty, disgusting mess. Maybe we'll live stream that on Monday night. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Live streaming on Monday night. There's just so much that can go wrong. I don't know if we want to do it on Monday night. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. That's a good, strong, solid maybe. So we've got coming up next week, 4th of July, not next week. Coming up next week, we have our Wednesday show, Thursday show, Friday show. Wait, is that right? Yeah, we're going to have our Wednesday show, our Thursday show. We do not have live music on Friday next week. Friday next week, the live road shows resume, where I'm going on the road to go hand out samples and do tastings. And that is going to be every Thursday, Friday, Saturday in the month of July up until the last day of the month when I run out of stores. So it's the first, second. Let me look at my calendar real quick. It is, when I look at the dates of the month of July, we will be out on the 1st and the 2nd, the 7th, 8th, 9th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 21, 22, 23, 28th, and 29th of July. And we are going to be hitting on those 12 days of July, we will be hitting 12 stores all across the state. The only store that we are going to be going to from 2 to 5 will be the one here in Atascocita, just east just east of Humble, yeah, and at the Atascocita Specs. We'll be at that one from 2 to 5. That whole schedule will be posted on our social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Insta, and probably up here on YouTube too. What the hell? Why not? I can do it on YouTube too. Um, on our community tab, and there you go. That's what we'll do. We'll post all the schedules everywhere, and it'll be great. So there's that. So those are the 3 announcements that I had from the distillery. Our shows next week. We've got our Wednesday night show. The topic is to be determined. Our trivia night Thursday night. No live music on Friday night because we are ending that. Our series is coming to a conclusion. This last Friday of June, tomorrow night or Friday night this week. The last Friday of June. We are not going to go into July and August because it is hot as the surface of the goddamn sun. I'm not surprised that it's hot. It's hot. It's just oppressively hot. You get everything set up. It doesn't cool off in the distillery until after dark, and everything gets set up. And I'm not even talking like after dark. I'm talking like 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night when it actually starts to cool off and the air gets nice and comfortable. It is uncomfortable. We don't have indoor comfort zones yet. We don't have like air conditioning and relaxing spaces for people. So we just can't have people at the distillery in July and August. It's just uncomfortable. So we picked that up in September. Yes, I know it's still hot in September, but as of the middle of September, it's going to start reflecting. September starts to reflect May. Maybe June. September kind of starts to reflect June, like the intense heat is beginning to subside and relieve itself all over our heads, and everything's beginning to subside and get a little bit better towards the end of September, and then when you move into October, it is just nice. October in Texas, in Houston especially, October in Houston is just as nice as March in Houston. March and April. September and October is really a whole lot like June, and September's a lot like June and May. October's an awful lot like April and May. October, November. There's no proxy. There's absolutely no proxy for December, January, February. December, January, February are like the 3 coldest months we have. And then even then, it's not really that cold. Like our last freeze we usually have in Houston is usually in March, I want to say. Our last freeze, like the very, very last freeze. Usually it's either the very beginning of March or the very end of February. And by freeze, I just mean we got ice on the ground when you wake up in the morning. That's it. I mean, it's not like frozen pipes. It's not snowing. It's not. I mean, sometimes we get snow in March. It's very, 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 very rare. 10 varies on that one. It's very, very rare. Times 5 because that was 2. So there you go. Yeah. Once we get back into September, we'll fire up the music again. We'll start doing our Friday night shows. We're gonna have bands coming in playing original music. We're gonna revamp the marketing all around the. Texas just sucks from June until the end of September. It's not that. I mean, really, most of June is really nice. It's when you get to the end of June where the heat starts baking into the days, and the nights, and the days start bleeding into the nights, and the nights it just stays hot until 7:30. Right now, it's about 7:30 when the weather starts to crack. And then it starts to cool down into 8:30 or so because the sun's gone behind the trees. July, it just stays hot all fucking night. It's just hot all night long. June, it's still at least tolerable. It's hot during the day. Don't get me wrong. It's hot. We're hitting high 90s, mid 90s, high 90s. We've even been in the hundreds a few times this year. But getting in towards the end of June, when you start talking about it being 95 degrees at 6:30, 7:30, I mean it's oppressive. The end of June, July is getting earlier and earlier and earlier every year. It's getting it's a challenge. It's a true challenge. It's live. Remember, it was 112 heat index a week ago down at, well, down in Corpus. I mean, you're right on the coast. I mean, there's no trees. I mean, yeah, but I don't so much worry about the heat index. I'm more interested in the actual temperature. I know the heat index is a real thing. You get the humidity, and it's just oppressive, and it's hard to breathe and do things. I know it's hard to breathe and do things in the distillery. It's a challenge. Um, but for the most part, especially down at Corpus, you get just too hot. You just walk west like another 30 feet, and you're in the water, and the water feels great. Hell, I jumped in the pool last night. Got to the pool at 8 o'clock because I drove all over town yesterday. I went from for those of you familiar with the area, Porter, Kingwood, Atascocita, Beaumont, Baytown, Clear Lake, and League City, and then went back up to Pasadena. But not Pasadena, Pearland. 9 stores, 9 different locations. Drove about 160 miles or so. Never really left the Houston metro area. Beaumont's its own place, but it's still in the Houston metro area. So anyway, I get home about 7:45, change into my swimming trunks. It's still 92 degrees when I get to the pool. The pool felt like bath water. Went and swam for 20 or 30 minutes. The water was so warm, felt like bath water. It was so warm. I get out of the pool, dripping sweat. How hot's it got to be for you to get out of the damn pool sweating? I mean, yeah, I get it. It's hot. But I'll happily take this Houston summers, the Houston heat, and trade it, keep it, rather than have to deal with the Wisconsin winters and Michigan winters. Because that shit, oh my God, that's unacceptable. Goddamn bacon's in the house. Cheers, bacon. It is with great happiness that I get to report to you that tonight we do the Perfect Hamburger Show, which I will jump into in about 2 more minutes. We're going to be talking about the Perfect Hamburger. And you helped me come up with this idea, talking on the after party on your channel after last week's Friday night show. So I did research. I have eaten, oh God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's Wednesday, and I've had 7 burger patties between breakfast, lunch, and dinner over the past 3 days. So there you go. In fact, I just had a burger. Just assembled my favorite burger, and I can do that right now because my entire family is out of the house. Even now, I could show you this. Look, the door to my office is open. I could do this show literally wherever I wanted to, but I decided to do it in the official pandemic studios of the Old Humble Distilling Company, which is my office right here. So yeah, the door's open. The house is dark. I don't have any lights on out there. I'm not going to say it's paradise because I love my family. I love having my family around. But man, it is fucking nice to be able to just do whatever the fuck I want. Sit on the couch and drink my whiskey. Eat Oreo cookies and not have to share them. Have ground beef steaks for breakfast with my eggs. I could do literally whatever I want right now. And a lot of what I want to do is sit on the couch and do nothing. It is marvelous. An absolute paradise. Bacon's everywhere. He is indeed. What else? Was hot in Pennsylvania yesterday. 92. Humidity was bearable, but today was 95 with a heat index of 105 and humid. I don't understand. I know it's humid in the rest of the country, right? I know other countries get humidity. Why the fuck is it so humid all the time? Anyway, I mean, I know why humidity happens, but it just seems that the humidity in Houston is so much more, you know. I've been to Ohio in August, visited old family friends up in Ohio in August. They were bitching and crying because it was like 88 degrees and it was so humid. It was dry as a damn bone. It was so dry you get under a shade tree and the temperature dropped 10 degrees. I was in Nebraska, South Dakota in the Badlands. It was like I don't know, what was it, 102 degrees or something like that in the sun. But as soon as you step in the shade, granted, there's not a whole lot of shade in South Dakota, but you step into the shade and bam, the temperature dropped to a frigid fucking 96 or so. And it just felt amazing. Because, down in Houston, it was like 96 and 175% humidity. And you go outside and you just, poof, you're drenched. Your sweat can't leave your body because it's like right there because of the air so sad. Oh my God. Anyway. Let's get on with the topic of the show, shall we? The perfect hamburger. Now, for those of you who might remember, let's do the title screen real quick. The perfect hamburger. The background music. Let's try this one more time. And now, topic of the night: the perfect hamburger. All right, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, I am the Old Humble Guy. We are talking about the perfect hamburger tonight. Some of y'all may have been around for our first Happy Hour 2.0 episode way back. God, close to 9 months ago now, I suppose. We talked about the perfect burrito. And no, I did not declare the location of the perfect burrito, where you could find the perfect burrito. I did say where my personal favorite burritos came from, the Freebirds. They're well packed, they're tight, they don't fall apart when you eat them. They had the proper amount of beans and rice, and it was in my mind the perfect assemblage of a burrito. But the basic perfect burrito you could get at like even just Taco Bell. They got the basic parts of a perfect burrito. If you like that sort of thing and you don't like yourself that much, because you can get your beans, your cheese. The only failure of a Taco Bell burrito is it doesn't have rice to give it some heft. I'm not going to worry about that because there's a whole bunch of burger places. I'm not going to worry about that with the burger places. There's a whole bunch of burger places you can go where you can get a version of the perfect burrito or the perfect hamburger out there. But there's parts to a burger that you need to have in order for this burger to become the perfect hamburger. And of course, it starts with a patty. The patty has to be, it can't be just lean beef. You can't do a high quality lean beef. You can't like take a porterhouse, put it into the grinder, and make ground beef from high quality steak. You can't do that. You can't do that to make a hamburger because hamburgers, traditionally speaking, have not been high quality meat. It's been ground chuck. It was intended to be, historically speaking. Tonight's show, we're going to be intersecting history and science on this because there's science that goes into the hamburger. Historically speaking, the burger was, it's not just a sandwich, right? Because you're not just talking sandwich bread and meat. It's not just any kind of meat, and it's not just any kind of bread. You've got a bun. The bun, it's thick because the meat itself is cooked ground beef, traditionally ground beef that was kind of the leftover bits, the cheaper parts of the meat that came out of a cow, right? So we're not talking lips and buttholes. We're not talking we're not talking sausage, and we're not talking hot dog meat here. We're talking like when the butcher would cut up the steaks, like there would be bits left over, right? There's the fatty part that he'd trim off, the bits left over, all the bits of the roast that he didn't use. Like that stuff would go get thrown into the grinder, ground together. So you had plenty of fat, you had plenty of meat. It wasn't just the high, you can't just go take a high quality cut of steak, grind it up, and boom, it becomes a hamburger. That's not a hamburger. That is not the perfect hamburger. Now, if you just like the flavor of that meat because of where it came from in the cow, that's fine. You can accommodate that by adding in some fatty materials like eggs. Eggs have plenty of fat, plenty of protein, but plenty of fat in the egg itself. You can use just straight up butter. You can fold in some butter or even lard if that's. But you got to maintain. You don't want to do more than 20%, and there's a reason for that. The reason you don't want to do more than 20% fat in the beef, uh, well, maybe 25. You no more than 75-25 for the beef to fat ratio. I prefer 80-20 myself, but you need that fat to help bind the meat together. Because if it's an exceptionally lean meat, when you form the patty and throw it in the skillet or on the grill to cook it, the meat's going to fall apart. That fat, not only does it produce juices, because that's delicious, not only does it produce the juices, but it also has a binder that holds the meat together. A great way to make a beef patty is to throw in a little bit of bread, do a half pound of meat, an egg, a little bit of bread, and it's nice and bound up. Not just dry bread. You wet it up and put it in, mush it all together, just like you do a meatball, and you have all that binding in there that keeps the bread or the meat rather, whole and it doesn't fall apart. Burger places can use soybeans or other meat substitutes. I don't like doing any of that crap. I just like going to the store, getting the nice solid 80-20, 80-20 beef. Wow, when I have this door open, I can hear everything that's going on out there. The dog is drinking water right now. Anyway, uh, but that holds the patty together, and that's what you need. You need that patty held together because when you put it in the skillet, it's going to fall apart if you don't have fat, right? But that leads to the other part. That's why you have the thick buns. You can't just use regular bread. You need to have a thick bun because the thick bun is going to help hold that meat together, and it's also going to absorb some of those juices. But you don't want the bread to absorb too many of the juices. So what you have to do, and this is science here, pay attention, listen up. You have to butter the bread, have a nice fat seal on the face of the bread, and then toast the bread. That's why the bread gets toasted, because the toasted bread does not soak in the juices from your moderately fatty meat that is not falling apart on your skillet or your grill. It all comes together. So you have to have a buttered and toasted bun, preferably a bun, not a piece of bread, um, to encapsulate the bread or the meat. You have to have a little bit of fat in that meat so that the meat doesn't fall apart. Another very important thing for your perfect hamburger, and this is something you absolutely, positively, 100% have to avoid forever and ever, amen. Do not cook your vegetables into your meat. I don't know what person thought that this was a good idea, but vegetables don't belong in meat. You're not cooking a meatloaf and putting it on bread, for God's sakes. You're making a damn hamburger. It is a meat patty. You don't need onions in that meat. You don't need bell peppers. You don't need anything sour. Whatever people put in burger. You don't need any of that shit. It's just meat. It's meat. You can have 2 or 3 different types of meat. You can grind up some bacon with your meat. You can throw in some pork with your meat. Whatever you want to do to add flavor. But 80-20 uh, uh, beef to fat, 80-20 beef to fat, no vegetables, none of that other shit. Just boom, and then the patty gets nice and patted down, nice and lean, and then boom in the skillet. Don't squeeze it. You don't have to press it. Smashburger does their thing, but you don't have to do that. Leave it to be, let it cook all the way through. Form your patty so it's not too thick. Let it cook all the way through, or about halfway through. Flip it, let it cook the rest of the way through. That's it. You don't need to smash your patty. You don't need to mush it around. You don't need to contaminate your skillet or your spatula with the raw side of the meat and then flip it over. You don't need to do any of that shit. Form your patty, throw it in the skillet. Wait. Let it cook on the one side, flip it over, throw your buttered bread into the skillet, let the bread toast. All right. Now, some people prefer to season their meat on the skillet or on the grill. There's nothing wrong with that. You get the nice caramelized flavors from your barbecue sauce and mustard. And personally, I prefer the tanginess of A1 and mustard. Uh, Others, ketchup and mayo and all that other. That's fine. And the toppings are secondary and irrelevant. The basic structure of a perfect burger: you have your toasted bun, you have your relatively fatty meat, and if you're adding uh, cheese, now this is really important. If you're going to add condiments, you're gonna want to put the cheese on the meat and then the condiments on the cheese. And there's a reason for this, because that cheese is going to act as a layer of fat between your meat and the bread, so that the cheese, or rather, so that it gives more protection from those juices going into the bread. And then you put the condiments on there, and the bread can soak up some of those condiments. It's not going to soak up a lot of it because, again, you toasted that bread. You did the right thing, right? You added more flavor to your bread. You toasted the bread, so it's not going to soak up a lot of the condiments. Now, what you absolutely don't want to have happen, this is going to ruin your perfect burger. You didn't toast your bread. Even worse, you used just regular bread, and now your regular bread has soaked up all the fats out of the meat. You didn't put the cheese on the meat to let the cheese melt. You put the cheese on the raw bread that wasn't even fucking toasted, and now you've got all the juices into your bread, and you just have a soggy mass of ruined bread dripping down your arms, just nasty, and nobody's having a good day because you're sitting there with your disgusting juice covered shirt and hands and arms, and like everything is just dreadful dreck. You don't want to do that. You want to avoid this by making perfect hamburgers. And even worse, you don't want to bite into a burger that's so dry you can't breathe because it's just dry and lifeless because you killed it because you thought, hey, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use premium meat in my hamburger. Premium meat does not make a hamburger. The history of a hamburger is that it was a easy, simple meat, ground beef sandwich that you could consume, you could hold in one hand, consume it outside of the house. You didn't have to eat it at home. You could just grab it out of your lunchbox or bag or whatever it was, and you could just eat it with one hand. That was the idea behind the hamburger when it was first introduced back in, when was this? Look at my notes real quick. When it was introduced back in the early 20th century. So this is an industrial and a modern industrial workers sandwich where they could like literally have it in their lunch pail, bring it out to the job site, grab it out of the lunch pail, and just eat it with one hand. That's the goal. But if you got this floppy bread around this juicy, fatty, dripping, nasty, you gotta have two hands. You gotta eat it with, and nobody wants that. That's not the perfect burger. That's not how the perfect burger is built. The perfect burger has a solid bun that you could hold with one hand, has a good patty that is not dry, that's not going to ruin your entire day because you have to go drink a bunch of water because back then they didn't have a whole bunch of clean water anyway. One hand, eat. Other hand, if you have something to drink, your beer, your water, whatever, there you go. You drink it. One hand meat, one hand burger, one hand bottled beverage of your choice, probably a pint of. Let's face it, we're drinking beer when we're eating our burgers, right, guys, gals, everybody. I'm drinking a glass of whiskey and beer. Mm. Oh, delicious. This is how you eat the burger. You can do this, especially if it's a big hamburger. But boom. Now vegetables, personal preference, spare. Lettuce, tomato, don't have to be any more fancy than that. Lettuce, tomato, that makes a perfect burger. You want onions, fine, whatever. You're wrong, but onions are the devil's fruit. If you want to eat onions, eat onions. I don't care. They're the worst dreck. Um, but there you go. That is how. If you're not building your burger this way, if you're building your burger any other way, uh, you're. I don't want to say you're doing it wrong, but you could definitely do it better. You know, you need the toasted bread. You need a fatty patty. You need the cheese touching the meat, condiments on the cheese, and you need the bun toasted. These are the basic elements of a perfect hamburger. there's more to like if you want to get fancy with Wagyu beef and all that, whatever. You can be fancy all you want. But I can't stress this enough. If you are using high quality premium meat in your burger, you have to add fat because otherwise your burger is going to be dry. It's going to be dry, it's going to be tough, and it's going to taste like crap, and you did it wrong. So there you go. And they got plenty of meat, ground chuck. You can just go buy the ground chuck. You don't have to be fancy and make your own. Just go buy the ground chuck. You're not going to save any money by making it from your own steaks. There's butchers that have already done it. Just get the ground chuck. And the last 6 burger patties that I've had, I literally just had the roll of ground beef and sliced it up, pattied it up, threw it in the skillet. Done. And I'll tell you this, fantastic burger to eat. Don't tell anybody this. It's just between you and me, right? Listen up. Fantastic burger to eat. You take your burger, you cook it. Another important point when you're cooking the meat, don't cook it beyond medium. Medium rare to medium is all you need to do. You don't want to destroy the juices out of the burger. So anyway, you cook it medium rare to medium. Fry an egg. Throw that fried egg on top of that patty. Throw in the cheese, throw in the egg, toast the bread, a little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard, slap that bad boy on there. You now have a royal burger with the crown of egg, and it is so damn good. If you throw in a little bit of lettuce, myself, if I'm not 100% certain where that lettuce has come from, or when that lettuce has come from specifically, if I cut it up myself, I'm happy. If I'm going to I don't eat burgers at McDonald's. If I'm going to a burger joint like Wendy's or Jack in the Box or wherever, I don't get their lettuce. I don't know how long their damn lettuce has been out there. It could have been there since Tuesday. I have no idea. Throw in a little bit of lettuce to help soak up some of those egg yolk juices. Oh, man. If you haven't done this yet, you have not lived. Eggs on burgers is the way. Oh my God, it is so good. And even better, you can do it for breakfast. Ground beef and eggs for breakfast. I mean, that's almost as good as sausage. But you get a whole burger patty out of it. You don't have to get like little bitty, like dinky Jimmy Dean sausages. You get a whole damn burger patty. 2 eggs. You're welcome. You're welcome. Think of me when you eat breakfast. There you go, kids. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been the assemblage of the perfect hamburger. There's the title screen. And now we come back to chat. Look at there. Chat for the kids. Where's my chat box? Here it is. Let's move chat up so we can see more of it. Make it bigger so we can see more of it. See more butts. And let's roll. Angie Mason Fluid Arts in the house. I'm scrolling all the way back up so we can catch up to chat. Okay, so it is 10:15. That is the night bot that we started at. It is 10:38. I am officially 23 minutes behind on chat. So let's catch up to chat. Let's discuss. Come at me. Tell me what I left out. Now I just want to talk about the basic bones of the perfect burger. I don't want to. I mean, I am going to judge you for using onions. Onions are dreadful. But if you want to throw jalapenos or lettuce and tomato or bell peppers or whatever, if you want to throw shit on your burger, fine. If that's what you like it. I'm down for it. If you want to put that shit in your burger patty, you can just take that. Don't put it on my grill. Just take that shit and just toss it in the yard because that is wrong. Do not put that shit in the burger patty. I will fight you. But let's scroll. All right. We are at 10:20 with, this is where I think I started chatting. Couldn't handle the Texas. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the Texas heat, it gets persistent, especially in August. It is persistently oppressive. The perfect hamburger is considered blasphemous by 2 separate religions. That is not untrue. 80-20 smash patties. I agree with the 80-20, but See, here's why I don't agree with the smashed patties. Um, those patties have. Can we make this bigger? No, we don't need to make this bigger. This is fine. Those patties have all those juices in there. When you smash the patties, when you smash it out, you're compressing the patty, and all those juices are coming out. All that when you hit the patty and go, that's the juices that you should have in the patty. That's the flavor that should be sealed in there. No, no, no. Don't smash those patties. Avoid that. Ground bison, crispy bacon, cheddar cheese. And see, that's Dustin. That's the thing about bison patties. Bison have really lean meat. Bison have much leaner muscle structure than cows. So every time I've had a bison burger that's been a ground bison meat patty, they've always been dry. And the reason why they're dry is just because they don't have a whole lot of fat on them. Now, if the bacon is ground up with the bison patty, then that gives it all the fat and flavor that it needs to have. But if the bacon's layered on top of the bison patty, you've got crispy bacon, you've got a crispy burger, everything crunches in your mouth. I would agree. I like the flavor of bison meat, but if you have the bison meat, you got to blend in some eggs. You mix in the eggs to help bind the meat together so it doesn't crumble, but also to give it some flavor and some juice. Otherwise, it'll be dry. Um, I am saying that the ribeye burger from Jack in the Box is trash. Um, it is an expensive meat burger that defeats the purpose of a good hamburger. Jack in the Box makes perfectly good burgers without having to fuck around with their black anus or ribeye, whatever beef. Um, yeah, 90/10 is probably about as lean as I would go. I prefer 80/20. 90/10 is probably about as lean as I would go. There's leaner. I think there's the 95% lean sirloin, but I think that is probably too much. I think. Um, can I change? Can I change the background color? Now we're fine. Okay. Um, you're out on the toasted bun. Texas toast would work if your bread is thick enough to do it right. If you're just doing white bread or just regular sandwich bread, it's too thin. You got to have that thick. If you're gonna toast it, if you're gonna do regular sandwich bread to do your Texas toast, it's gonna be too thin. You got to have that thick, the thick bread, thick. You got to do the thick bread to make the Texas toast. Otherwise, and here's the thing, it'll just it flops. You can't hold it with one hand. Sandwich bread's just too thin. You can't hold it with one hand. It will soak up, even with the toasted face. It will soak in some of the juices, even with the toasted face. So the regular white bread or sandwich bread is going to soak it in, and it's going to flop, and it's just going to become a juicy mess. You don't want that. If you have the thick Texas toast, the thick sandwich bread, you can pull that off. In my personal opinion. And which is also scientifically accurate. Um, Dustin's out of the toasted bun. Um, I don't usually put veggies on my burgers, but today I was really craving some lettuce because I don't think I've had a vegetable in 3 days. No, I take that. I've had fruits. I have had fruits. I don't think I've had vegetables though, because potato chips and corn chips and French fries don't count as vegetables. So I don't think I've had a vegetable in like 2 days. So I was craving vegetables today. Uh, and after this, I'll probably go munch on some celery as well. Um, go eat your salad somewhere else. See, I'm not opposed to vegetables on my burgers. I like especially shredded lettuce because that'll capture some of those juices and you get the nice. I especially don't like it. Tomatoes can come or go. The store bought tomatoes, the fast food tomatoes have absolutely no flavor. Um, they're basically a place to capture salt. The lettuce, at least the shredded kind, will capture some of those juices, so you get more of the juices from the burger in your meal. Um, but I'll throw in some tomatoes and for some girth to the burger to give it like more substance. Um, and that's probably what the lettuce really does too. I probably don't get a whole lot of juices out of lettuce, but it does. It opens up some pockets. You can have your condiments like trapped inside the lettuce and get more flavor. That helps in my the construction of it, the science of the burger. The lettuce helps to capture in some of that, some of the condiments. If you're putting condiments on your burger, if you're not putting condiments on your burger, if it's just meat, cheese, and bread, you don't need any of that shit. Absolutely not. But see, these things all work together. They work together to form a union. Um, there you go. Then another toasted bun. And what's really cool is in this Texas heat, all you gotta do is go lay out in the yard and get your buns toasted. See what I did there? I'll stop. Um, the hellos. Angie's everywhere. Not a good life to be on when you had the munchie. I just ate dinner. I'm ready to roll. Um, why use the 90-10? Yeah, I mean the 90-10. Like once again, the 90-10 is probably about the leanest meat that I would use. Uh, Probably about the leanest. And 80-20 is about the fattiest that I would use. Any more than that, see, here's the other problem. If it's too fatty, it'll shrink up, and then you end up with a little hockey puck on your bread. But if you form the patty right, if you form the patty that make it about a half inch thick, and that's about a half inch, right? Make it about a half inch thick, nice and even all around, and you throw it down on the skillet in just the right spot. It's not going to shrink up, so you'll be just fine. Uh, 85-15. 85-15 is in between 80-20 and 90-10. That works out just good. Safety Doc's in the house. Safety Doc, what's up, my man? Lisa is bringing me the book to go to the library this Friday. Uh, so your book should be in the Humble uh, Harris County Library or Humble Municipal. I think it's the Humble Municipal Library. Should be in the Humble Municipal Library by July. So there you go. What else do we got? Let's keep scrolling. Am I going to catch up to chat? It's 10:33, 10:47. No, I'm still solid 15 minutes behind on chat. That's fine. Angie's asking the right questions. Here's 90-10 is approaching dry. In my personal opinion, 90-10 is right on the border of dry. But sauce helps. Sauce helps tremendously, especially if you grill it with sauce on the meat and and it soaks into the meat, or you marinate it, or we marinate it with Worcester sauce. Worcestershire sauce. We will add salts and peppers, and sometimes even a little bit of A1 to give it that flavor that I'm specifically looking for. And if you're doing all that, the leaner meats work out good too, because that adds some juice and flavor to the meat that you're not going to get with the fat emulsifiers. Emulsifier. That's a fancy word that I learned from Alton Brown when I went to his culinary college on the Food Network. Um, Safety Doc wants a burger. Get this whack ass soup burger out of here. That is 100% correct. Bacon. I don't want all your fucking vegetables. I don't want it to be a gnarly ball of juice. I want it to be. Uh, I want it to be a burger, and I want it to have the right amount of juice to meat, you know, I want, I want it to, when you bite into it, you know, I want it to kind of melt in your mouth a little bit, but not be like just, I don't know how I'm thinking of the words in my head. I'm picturing it in my head. You like bite into it, it just like sploosh all over your tongue. That's sounded not at all how I wanted that to sound. I'm just gonna let that linger in the air for a second. Sploosh all over your tongue, and then dribble down the back of your throat. Some of it slips out the side of your mouth and goes down your chin, and you look up and you smile at the chef with your shiny face. Okay, anyway, back to the chat. Sorry. Onions are the devil's fruit. That's a fact. That's what I said, and I'll fight you. I know onions go in like soups, and you know they saute them, they dice them and saute them, and they're a base of everything. But goddamn, I hate onions. I absolutely hate onions. I will pick them out of my food if I find them. If I go to Taco Bell and I order a bean burrito and it's got onions in it, I'm coming back and I'm throwing that goddamn thing at your window. It is it's just a great way to ruin a good fucking meal is to chock it full of a bunch of fucking onions. So if you want to ruin your burger patty with onions, fine. Ruin your burger patty with onions, but you keep that shit off my grill and you keep it off my skillet because I do not want that. I don't want that nasty patty anywhere near any of my food. It's just gross. Ugh. Whatever. But if you like onions, that's fine. Eat them. I mean, you're not a bad person just because you like onions. You're a bad person for other reasons. You like onions because you're a bad person. You're not a bad person because you like onions. I mean, let's be honest here, right? Anyway, um, Laura's. I'm trying to catch up. Where am I reading? There it is. Oh, dry burger. No, nobody wants dry burgers. It tastes like you're biting into the Sahara Desert. That's not a good time. It's not a good time at all. Yeah, you brine. Yeah, I love it when there's bacon ground into the burger patty. Um, I don't like burger patties that are a little bit of pork and a little bit of bacon. It tastes like it has the texture of sausage. And I don't like and not like sausage patties like breakfast sausage patties like link sausage. It has that texture of link sausage. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Um, Funny enough, Dustin, if you can mix in the egg, uh, but if you don't have an egg, you can use mayonnaise because mayonnaise is literally made from eggs. It's a fat emulsive fat. Uh, what is it? Beaten fat, little egg, little vinegar. That's all mayonnaise is. So if you don't have eggs, in order to add fat to your super lean meat, you want to add girth to your meat. You want to add some girth to your meat, stick some mayo in it, because that the fat will, if you want to add some fat to your lean meat, the mayonnaise will help with that because it is the same fat. Well, it's made from eggs. It's the same properties as eggs. Um, so there you go. Don't want a 96% lean burger cooked slightly past 12. No, you just reach into the fire and pull out a charcoal briquette. Jesus Christ. Oh, let's do this with the sound. Do y'all like that? That's ASMR there. I should put ASMR as a hashtag too. Uh, Funny enough, when I was setting the show up, I was looking at search terms, trying to decide on a topic of the show. I was looking for search terms that have been searched for people who came to my shows. Hamburger was one of the search terms that people had been using to come to my channel, which I thought was just like completely fortuitous. Tremendous. What would that be? Kismet? Let's go with that. Um, chewing on a shoe. um, you know, chewing on a crock. No, I'm not gonna do it. Steel wool. Steel wool queen. Did I miss Steel wool queen? Steel wool queen's in the house. Cheers, Steel wool queen. I actually commented on her. Noted her comment. Cheers, SWC. Welcome to the party. Oh, I did not mean to do that, but I'm glad that I did it. Let's catch up. Yes. Passed down since my great grandfather. Really piss off Humble. Bring that pita around. Bring the pita round bread. Actually, I'm if we're having uh pita round bread is really good for really good meat. Not so much for burger meat. But you got chicken or some sliced up steak. Yeah, that'll go in my pita every damn day of the week. We should do pitas one day. Because hamburgers are sandwiches, but hot dogs are just white man tacos. We should maybe do pitas. Pita. Anyway, if you haven't had a good bison burger, make sure you cook it on low heat. Yeah, that's probably the case because most of the bison burgers I've had at burger joints and they cook it the same way they cook their other burgers, which is wrong. The best bison burger I've ever had was actually in South Dakota at a little restaurant that was just outside of Custer State Park, where they've got the herds of bison and buffalo, whichever you want to call them. It was outside of Custer State Park. It was actually at the Crazy Horse Monument. The Crazy Horse Monument at that restaurant. I had a bison burger there, and it was the stereotypes abound at this place. It was run by Native Americans because it's on Native American land. Creek or Sioux. It was Sioux, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody look it up and correct me. But it was their restaurant. My son had spaghetti. He had spaghetti and meatballs. I had the bison burger. I don't remember what my wife had, but it was something with vegetables. It was very green. And it was the best damn bison burger I'd ever had. It was juicy and it tasted like a burger. It just had a whole lot more flavor than beef, and it was just fucking believably amazing. But most of the bison burgers I've ever had, granted, down here in Houston, they were cooked badly. They were just wrong. Just like emu meat. You want it to melt in your mouth, but not run down. Exactly. Melt in your mouth, not on your elbows. Because that would be bad. Burgers and hot dogs are what I see A1 sauce being good for. If you have to put it on an actual steak, it's yes. A1 if you have to put A1 sauce on a steak, you didn't season your steak right. And to season your steak right, really all you need to do is salt and pepper. Maybe some garlic butter. But you do the garlic butter in the pan and you put the steak in the garlic butter and then you salt and pepper it and then flip. Take the garlic. Oh god damn! I should do a show on the perfect steak. And I should cook the steak during the show. Oh man, that would be. I could probably do that. Oh, I should have done that today. Damn it, missed opportunity. Next time I do it, my family's gonna be home and I'm gonna have to cook for them. It's starting to sound kinky by the minute. Food and sex are very intimate things. A lot of times one leads to the other, and occasionally the other leads to the one. But they are both very intimate things. If you do it right, you do it with your mouth on both sides. If you do sex right, you've done it with your mouth. If you do food right, you've done it with your mouth. In fact, I don't think there's any other way to do food right. If you're jamming food in your eye or your ear or your nose, it's kind of the same way with whiskey. If you're using any of your head holes, you're doing it wrong, unless you're using your mouth. Um, but of course, sex is much more versatile than food because you can use all kinds of other um, holes for for the sexing. Um, the perfect sex. No, we can't do a show on the perfect sex. YouTube almost certainly wouldn't allow that. Have we caught up to chat? Did I catch up to chat? I never catch up to chat this early. Well, it's only 11 o'clock. Oh my goodness. I rule. Um, way too immature for the conversation. Uh, put your meat in mayo to get more girth. Yes. Yeah, that should go on t-shirts. I should make some t-shirts. Head holes. Yes, you drink whiskey with only one head hole. The other head holes, or other holes, you have to put it in the primary head hole, which is this one right here. Any of the other head holes, you're using your whiskey wrong. Uh, any of the other body holes, for that matter, you're using your whiskey wrong. Um, ear, nose, and throat doctors are doctors for head holes. All of the major head holes. Um, the thrill of the men's room nailed it with his assessment of bison. If you want the flavor of just meat, that's bison. Hmm. That's fairly decent. I mean, that's a fairly accurate assessment there, because the bison meat is it really is just meat. It's lean as hell. There's no other. There's very little fat. There's very little. I mean, and here's the thing. I could tell the flavor of the bison. It just tasted like it was burnt because they just overcooked the meat. They cooked it like a burger. They cooked it like a regular old beef burger, high heat for too long, uh, over flame, and it was just it was ruined meat. It tasted bad. Um, God, I'm such a fucking juvenile. So as my mouth is saying, it was ruined meat. My brain is saying, "Oh, make a joke about circumcisions." Like, shut up, brain. quit, quit being a fucking baby, you fucking juvenile idiot. Oh, you want me to say it. No, shut up. I don't want to say it. Anyway, um, ruined meat like a botched circumcision. Shut up, brain. Fucking. Anyway. um, one you're not wrong. One of the best date ideas is cooking. Uh, 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 one of the best books that I've ever read uh, was was The Omnivore's Dilemma. Okay, and so the whole thesis of The Omnivore's Dilemma is the driving question which has defined human civilization ever since the dawn of mankind is, what are we going to eat tonight? That has been the one question that's been universal to the human experience from the first humans to modern humans today. The one question that has been universal among all human beings from the first proto-humanids, proto-humanoids way back in 25,000 years ago, hell, 40 million years ago, whenever the first human beings walked the earth, to tonight is, what are we going to eat tonight? That's the omnivore's dilemma. Great book. Find it on Amazon's or wherever. Great book to read. And in that book, he talks about the slow food movement, where the way people used to eat is they would gather in the kitchen, they would cook, they would they would oftentimes kill the meat, kill the food, clean the food, bring the food home, cook the food, and do everything. And like the process of preparing dinner was a 3 to 5 hour event, and you'd sit down, and eating was just an extension of that preparation process where you finally, the meal was done, you sit down, you eat, you pour the drinks, everybody's talking, and the meal never really finishes until everybody's sitting around the table. The meal never really finishes until um, the meal never really finishes until people just like wander home and go. And that was it. That's the whole like idea of the slow food move. And I put together one of these slow food meals one evening. I had went hunting down on the border near in Harlingen, Texas. Went hunting, killed a rabbit. Was hunting for dove. Managed to kill a rabbit quite by uh, quite. I mean, surprised the hell out of me when I did. I was walking. I shot a couple of birds. I was walking to get the birds. Rabbit jumped out of the brush, ran in front of me. I picked the rabbit off out of the ground. Uh, had a guy keep an eye on the rabbit. I went and got my birds. Went back and got the rabbit. He hit the ground and just tumbled. Um, Dressed the rabbit that night when I dressed the birds. Bring the rabbit home. Invite some friends over. We prep it up. Had a nice uh, long grained rice, celery, carrots, cream of mushroom uh, base. The rabbit was put on top of that. Goes into the oven. We're talking the whole time as I'm prepping it up. Uh, Andrea and Steve and my lovely wife and me and their kid. Their kids were off playing with our kids. We were all talking, and uh, rabbit goes into the oven. We pour us up a fresh glass of wine. We sit down. We're talking while the thing's cooking. Food's ready. 45 minutes later. Actually, I don't even think it was 45 minutes. I think it was like 20 minutes later. Food's ready. We're done with our glass of wine. Pull it out. Plate everything up. The kids, of course, aren't going to eat the rabbit because they don't know what's good. Little do they know they have eaten a lot of rabbit in their life. They think it's chicken when you feed it to them. Anyway, the whole dinner process from them coming over. I mean, we prepped it up while they were there, and we're all talking. The whole process was something like I think they came over at like 4, and they didn't leave until like 10. And like the preparation of the dinner was part of the whole event of the night. It was part of the night. Um, it was a glorious, just a wonderful night of doing that, and we did the same thing with another couple of friends of ours when I made coq au vin with some roosters that I helped harvest. It was just it's a great communal event to do with friends. It's a very intimate thing to do, to have them with you making the food and talking about the it's very awesome. And if it's just uh, you and your companion for the evening, um, it's a great. I mean, it's a great bonding event. You've got to you find out how each other works. You find out flavors and tastes and preferences that each other likes. You can feed each other and be like cutesy and do all that gross shit. If that's what you want to do, ugh, being cutesy is gross. But whatever. Put the whipped cream on the nose and giggle. I mean, whatever. It's fine. You serve the chocolate mousse and an apron and nothing else. um, Gets both doing together, involves all 5 of the main senses. Bingo. Um, all all holes can take whiskey, but there's only one correct hole to pour it in, Mike. That's the only there's plenty of wrong ways to drink whiskey, but only one right way, and that's with your mouth hole. Um, Whiskey enema. Ugh. Ugh. My hunch is that would burn. I don't know. Would it? No, I don't suppose there's no open. I don't know. I don't know if that would burn or not. I don't want to try it. I mean, I know. I don't even know. You drink. It tastes better if you drink it with your mouth. Is what I'm saying. and you don't know where that funnel's been. Butt chugging bookers. uh, Eating a bologna sandwich. Oh, hopefully you at least put cheese on that bologna sandwich. Ugh, come on, Angie. Cook and butt chug, like the episode of South. Was there a butt chugging episode of South Park? Did I miss a perfectly legitimate butt chugging episode from South Park? I am disappointed in myself. I don't think I've watched South Park. It's been a while since I've watched South Park. I can't remember the last time I watched South Park. But the funniest South Park episode I've ever seen was the butt face episode where uh, where Kenny flips himself. He puts his parka on upside down. He goes and takes a class picture with his butt in his parka, and then they put the picture on a milk on a milk carton, and then the family comes looking for their little lost kid. Uh, and they were there was a line in there where they said, "Oh, we can't eat chili; it makes us throw up." And I laughed so fucking hard, I literally threw up. I was laughing so hard. We can't eat chili because it makes us throw up. They always talk like this when they talk to their butt cheeks. I'm such a fucking child. Anyway, all right. It's Wednesday. It can be overlooked. Yeah, bacon. Bologna, at least cook the bologna, right? You throw the bologna on a skillet, cook it before you just put it on. You don't just want raw bologna on raw bread like some kind of fucking Neanderthal living in caves. I mean, Jesus. We've fought to civilize ourselves and build farms and cities and computers so that we didn't have to have raw bologna. Cook the bologna at least, Jesus Christ. Speaking of cooked bologna cups. Am I the only person who I know for sure I can't possibly be the only person. Take bologna, slice of cheese, put it into square, put it in the middle of the bologna, pop that bad boy into the microwave, cook it, and then the bologna goes pops up into a little cup, and inside the cup is a little dollop of runny, gooey, cheesy goodness. Mm. And then you take that bologna cup and you fold it over and you pinch it and then the cheese goes right down into your throat like a little dollop of joy. Anyway, um, the only way you see it going wrong is at that moment you find out they're vegan. You're like, yeah, look at what I killed, and they're like, ew. There were two of them. I killed this one. The widow is fine. I'm sure. I'm sure she has babies to. She can handle feeding the babies herself. I just broke up a happy family. Oh, we don't eat any animals. It sucks to be you. Because guess what we're having for dinner tonight? We're having Roger. That's what we're eating tonight. We're eating Roger, the rabbit here. Uh, he was just minding his own business. I was minding my own business, going to pick up some dove that I murdered. We can eat those tonight too if that's cool. You got like 6 of them for a meal. I've got 14. It'll be perfectly fine. But yeah, I was minding my own business. They were minding their own business. They spooked him and they popped out of the brush, and so I shot him. You know, I mean, so you want to just I guess skip dinner then and go fuck? I don't. How do you even finish that conversation when they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a vegan." I'm like, all right, you just want to skip dinner and fuck? Then I guess that's the only thing left to do tonight, right? Like, no, I'm leaving. Like, okay, whatever. I guess you could just eat the carrots and so. See, here's the thing: when you cook rabbits, they cook really well with stuff that rabbits eat, like celery and carrots and I don't know if they eat rice, but they cook really well with rice, cream of mushroom, uh, some doves. Yeah, you know. Well, when you go dove hunting, you end up with some doves. The limit's like, I think 14 per day. I think the limit's 14 per day. It's either 14 or 14 per day. I can't remember what it is. But I can't imagine going and hunting and only hitting, you go hunting for 3 days and you only shoot 14. Like, who can only shoot 14 doves in 3 days? I mean, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, if you can only shoot 14 doves in 3 days, you need to get a better hobby. You need to do something else because you're a bad aim. You're bad at shooting things. I I mean, they're dove. They're not that smart. They're like, they're flying, and all you got to do is put up a hail of pellets in front of them, and they hit the pellets because I mean, what are they going to do? Avoid them? They're not that smart. Anyway, it's been like, god damn, it's been like 10 years since I've been hunting. Nah, it can't possibly have been 10 years. It's got to have been 5 years. No, it's probably closer to 10 years than 5 years. Anyway, if you know anybody on the border that wants a hunting buddy, I'm a have gun, will travel. So there you go. They put food in their butt and regurgitated turds. It was a legit South. Yes, it was. The butt face episode was a legit South Park episode. It was absolutely hilarious. They had butts for faces. That's what they did. They had butts for faces. It was a medical condition. And I think the kid was voiced by Ben Affleck, if I'm not mistaken. Ben Affleck was involved in that movie. One guy failed ranger training, found out the hard way when he tried. I'm a Neanderthal, not a heathen. Yeah, I mean, if you chug, I'm pretty sure if you chug liquor through if you do a butt chug of vodka or liquor, you will die. It's tampon shots. That's what they do. That's how you do it safely. You do tampon shots. I learned that on Shameless. You use tampon shots. Anyway, some doves. Well, yeah, but Jessica Rabbit, you're not gonna throw her in the oven. I mean, I know a cosplayer that does a very, very good Jessica Rabbit. She is uh, very good at what she does. I've only seen it in video. I haven't gotten her to do it in person. Is that what it sounds like when doves cry? um, Dad used to hunt. We ate everything he killed: dove, rabbit, duck, pheasant, squirrel, turkey, deer. I've never actually been rabbit hunting, but I raised rabbits for harvest. Dove hunting, pheasant. Oh, pheasant is delicious. Um, I've been boar hunting, not deer hunting. I've never been turkey hunting. I've hunted quail and chucker and pheasant, but we were hunting quail. Chucker and pheasant were just present on the property. Uh, but dove, rabbit, pheasant, chucker, quail. Pheasant is a really yummy meat. That is a really delicious. It's a really delicious bird. It's kind of sweet. Has that sweetness to the meat. It's really nice. Um, of course you're not. Of course, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Jessica Rabbit is I mean, a childhood crush. What can I say? I mean, she's a cartoon, but she's not naughty. She's just drawn that way. I mean, what are we supposed to do, right? Hmm. Jessica Rabbit. Anyway, um, one more glass, I think. Where are we at for the night? We're at only 10:15, 11:15. That's fine. News about the road. No, wait, not news about the road show. News about the. News about the road show. So here's how the road shows go for the Old Humble Distilling Company. I schedule out the dates that I want in advance. Wait, what the hell, tampon? What the hell is a tampon shot? Well, I would tell you to Google it, but you don't want to Google it. Okay, so this is a tampon shot. You take a tampon, you soak it in. Cheers, James Morgan. You tuned in just in time. Okay, so we know what butt chugs are, right? You don't want to and the danger with a butt chug is you have too much liquor in your rectal cavity and it soaks in through the or through the colon, your rectum. It soaks in through that because that's that's what that organ does is it soaks the liquid out of your poo so that your poo is solid, right? So the tampon shot is when you take the tampon and you take the glass and you soak the tampon in the glass of alcohol. You let it soak in there for several minutes to make sure it has it in there, and then you insert it. And then when it's inserted, the alcohol slowly comes out of the tampon and leaches into the capillaries and inner lining of your colon so that the liquor doesn't, you don't have a whole enema, an alcohol enema. You have an alcohol soaked tampon that is slowly putting the alcohol into your body instead of too much. So you can measure out how much is actually getting into your bloodstream rather than just pouring an unhealthy amount of alcohol into your system. So there you go. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. I do not recommend. Our official stance at the Old Humble Distilling Company is that we don't recommend tampon shots. They're dangerous. The as I've always said, and I will continue to say, the correct way to drink alcohol is using your mouth hole, your talker, your there's so many fucking names for it. I'll just stick with the not. Oh, Jesus. And when I was in college, I was at a women's volleyball game at the University of Houston, and one of the opposing players was talking shit, and one of our players said, you need to, you need to shut your cock holster, or I'm going to spike this ball into it." Oh God. Anyway, so yeah, we don't recommend tampon shots. But we do recommend using your cock holster. That's just fucking wrong. Just strike that from the record. I would like the record to show that I requested that it be struck from the record. Um, Jesus Christ. Oh God. Anyway, so because there could be multiple cock holsters. It doesn't have to be. Anyway. All right. Back to chat. Uh, Soak a tampon in liquor and shove it in their ass. There you go. That is Women of Whiskey just ended. Expect you. I want to get the Women of Whiskey. I want to do a show with those guys so bad, gals, so bad. And one of them at least is local, and I want to get her in the distillery and maybe do a show from the distillery. But it is just too it's too hot right now uh, to force other people to come to the distillery with me. It's not uncomfortably hot to work in the distillery right now. Um, Especially with the doors open and the fans running. Um, but when we do a show, I want to have the doors closed, and then it gets like stuffy. Anyway, You have an idea, but you probably don't want to know. Uh-huh. It's fairly descriptive with its own name. Um, Tampon shot, exactly. Uh, Rectum damn near killed him. That is correct, Bacon. Rectum. Oh Lord, could be a new form of art for your takes your drunk art to a whole nother level. Rectum rum. No, no, we will not be doing rectum rum. No, thank you. A beanhole butt. The Mount Gay rum. Good Lord. Well, I mean, no, I'm not going to even go there. Drunk art with Angie Mason. Different ways to get drunk? Yep. What do we got this one? Holy shit, literally. Oh, good Lord. Um, you shut your cock holster or I'll spike the ball right into it. And see, here's the thing. It was women's volleyball and it was Hoffein's Pavilion at the University of Houston. So we're like it's post Southwest Conference days, mid CUSA days when like everything just kind of sucked, right? Um the Dick Holster. He's a private eye. Private investigator Dick Holster. Um but we were there was maybe 30 people. The Hoffein's Pavilion sat something like 7,000 or so, and there were maybe 30 people there um, watching the game, and probably half of them were family. Uh, so we're sitting there, me and my buddy Bill. Um, we had a sports show on the Student Video Network, so we were, watching the University of Houston sports. And this night it was women's volleyball, hoping to get an interview after the game of one of the ladies on the court. I think we were playing East Carolina or one of those CUSA schools at the time. But there was like 30 people, maybe 30 people in the entire arena, so you could hear everything. When they got into their little huddles, you could hear what they were saying in the huddles because they weren't being quiet. They were, you know, loud as hell, but you could hear like literally everything. So when she yelled out at whatever this chick's name was, Brittany or whatever, I don't think she said her name. I think she had a number 5. But when she yelled it out, it was clear as day, like she was as if she was just like right there in the stands next to us, leaned over and said, if she doesn't shut her mouth, I'm going to hit her. If she doesn't shut her cock holster, I'm going to hit her in the face with the ball. And it was so fucking hilarious. We were stunned. We were like, what did she just say? Did she just say cock holster? She said cock holster. Oh my God. And then we just laughed our asses off. It was so hilarious. Because there was a fairly good chance that both of their moms were in the stands at the same time, which is pretty damn funny to think about. Um, oh Lord. Um, anyway, um, anyway, uh, that was also the same season when they were playing Tulane, and Bill stood up and he quoted Romeo and Juliet to the setter uh, for Tulane. He stood up and he said, "Would you deny your parents?" No, 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 no. That was the second thing. First he stood up. He said, "Will you name on the back of her shirt, whatever it was? Will you marry me?" And her parents were 3 seats down from us, and her mom turned around and said, "Absolutely not." And he looked at me and I'm so sorry. I mean, no disrespect. She's like, don't worry. My girl has higher standards. And he was put in his place. It was so fucking hilarious. But then, not 5 minutes later, Bill stands up and he says, deny your parents, deny your family, run away with me, Juliet and Mary. And that got a chuckle out of everyone around. Even her parents laughed at that because, that was funny. Mm. Anyway, oh goodness, such good times. Don't even ask what to do with absinthe. um, two in the pink and one in the stink. Neapolitan ice cream has the brown, the white, and the pink. It's like 2/3 of good ice cream. And one day, we had some friends over. One of them brought Neapolitan, whatever. So, being the jokester that I am, I thought it would be funny to put 1 spoon in the chocolate and 2 spoons in the strawberry and set it on the counter and say that the ice cream was ready to go. And only the guys got that joke. The girls did not get that joke. So, so there you go. What would they be willing? Well, you know what? I'm gonna make this even just a little bit bigger because I'm seeing it on the screen over there, and it looks tiny. So let's adjust this down, make it a little bit bigger. There, that's a little bit better. All right. Why don't y'all say something? God. Um. Okay. That's how they give their communion these days. Shark Home Brewing's in the house. Cheers, sharks. Shark. Sorry. I'm a little goofy. This is the first time I've actually talked to other human beings this week. I assume, Shark, your package arrived. I haven't checked I have not checked the tracking number, but well, of course your package arrived. It would have arrived like on Friday or something like that. The preference for sugar cubes makes a lot more sense now. That would be with absinthe, of course. Sugar cubes and absinthe. So really, what I've seen, like the presentation of absinthe, and this is why we'll probably never really do an absinthe. You have the sugar cube and the absinthe, and you pour it and you light it, and it like dribbles down, and like that just seems like a lot of fucking work. How do I get it? How do you get absinthe? Go to the liquor store. Generally, that's the best way to get absinthe. Myself, I'll probably, if we get some, I'll make it. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, guys, this is fun. I am having an inordinate amount of fun tonight. Who do we have? What am I looking for over here? It looks like we have a good. I know what I was going to give one last update on. I know. Yes, they still sell absinthe in the United States. It is a myth. You did. I missed the unboxing video. God damn it! I've been disconnected and kind of out of touch. Shark Home Brewing. Oh, it's because I forgot to hit the notification bell. That's my bad. And you only got 4. You got to have more than 4. Give you another view right here. There it is. You know what's in the box. Everybody knows what's in the box. Gwyneth Paltrow's head's in the box. That's the bottom of the box. That is the bottom of the box, Shark. Anyway, so yeah, Y'all are now watching me scroll through YouTube on my phone. This is, by the way, most of what I've been doing on my spare time the last couple of days. There's a 3-minute video. There it is. I found it. A 3-minute video. I got it. I found it. Ooh, starring the legend and the dog. Cool. Now you're gonna have 7 views. We're gonna fucking rock this out. Okay, so this was actually it kind of ties into the next update that I've been where are we at? Let's scroll real quick. Quick unboxing video. Yes, it is sold in the United States. The bacon. So yeah, well, let's recap the show, shall we? We had Old Humble updates for the first 15 minutes. We talked about the perfect burger for the next like 20 minutes. We talked about we should talk about whiskey cocktail pairings. We should do something like that. Yeah, I'm not really a cocktail pairing kind of guy though. That's something else that somebody else is gonna have to do. That's not my jam. I just like whiskey. I just fucking drink whiskey all day long. What's your favorite cocktail pairing? Whiskey with food. Well, what kind of food? Edible food, ideally, and good whiskey. Those are I mean, well, what kind of cocktail? Do you like sweeter? You like, yep. I like sweet stuff. I like tart stuff. Um, yeah, like the smoky, oaky type. I should get one of those fog hats and we should do a testing of the fog hat. Maybe I can make one of those because I've got oak planks. Maybe I could make one of those old-fashioned smokers. Maybe. Let me see. I'll figure it out. Anyway, and then we talked about rectal shots and tampon shots, or butt chugs and tampon shots, and other stuff. I don't know what else we talked about, but those 3 things mostly we talked about that stuff. I don't know if they sell it in all. Well, I don't see why they wouldn't sell it in all states. All it is just a uh, uh, liqueur. Probably it might be a liqueur with like a gin with flavorings in it. That's pretty much it. It's it's not mystical by any stretch of the imagination. Um, it's just liquor. Liquor, hardly even know her. Also, I started drinking at 11 o'clock today um, because I had to pour a cocktail to take a picture. Check this out. This is a gorgeous picture of a cocktail. If I can find it. Where's it at? This right here. It went up on our Instagram, so go find it and like it. That is our highball cocktail. Uh, Old Humble Canada Dry and a splash of lime or lemon, rather. That's a lemon, not a lime. Um, and I had to drink that cocktail. And then there was stuff left over in the can, so I finished it with a second cocktail. And then, well, then I had to have another drink because there was a little bit of whiskey left in the bottle, and I didn't want just one shot left in the bottle, so I had the third one. And, you know, I don't know. Then I ate lunch. No, I ate lunch in between the second and third. Anyway, whatever. We're just having fun. It's a good time. We're having fun. Well, I mean, whatever. We're having fun. Um, we gather enough mushrooms to drop. I can get absinthe at my local liquor store. I can tell you that much. In fact, absinthe. If I wanted to look up Specs Online, which is my local liquor store, it's also a national or a statewide chain. Where is it? Liquor. There it is. Also, Total Wine. I'm pretty sure Total Wine is in your neck of the woods out there. That's Drizzly. Total Wine. Come on. Stop that. Total Wine should be out in your neck of the woods. Specs is probably not because it's not outside of Houston or outside of Texas, rather. But if I look up Total Wine, I don't care about an update. It wants to update. Stop it. See what y'all made me do. Now I've got to update the stupid Total Wine app. Dumb. Okay, well, let's let that do that for a while. But yeah, look it up on Total Wine. I'm sure you can find it. It's not hard. It's probably about $30. Probably about $30 for a bottle is my guess. There was alleged to be an herb in the absinthe that would make you hallucinate, but that is also a myth. It does not. Mushrooms and hardcore narcotics. That's the way to go. I did call you a Neanderthal, like, because you were eating raw bologna, like some kind of Neanderthal, like a caveman. God. Let me look here. Absinthe, ABSYNTHE, on the Total Wine app. There it is. Oh, there's one for Mephisto Absinthe and Parnassi Absinthe Superiore. There's one that's $30 and the one that's $17 right there. Let's see here. If I look for it in Maryland, let's see if I can change my store to a Maryland store. There's like 6 of them. There's several more down below. There's the Parnassi Absinthe, the Oregon Spirit Absinthe. You can get an absinthe spoon, Vera Liqueur Absinthe, Hoffland, Meester Bitter Absinthe. So there you go. Let me look and see if I could find it in product availability. Check nearby. Let's see here. Not these stores. Let me see if I can find it in a... All right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to try and do this live in a window here. Okay. So bear with me. I'm going to add a new window. All right, does that work? Yeah. Okay, so we have audio now. Let's make this even smaller. Let's go with this, and let's add a browser. No, not the browser. We're going to add a display capture. No, I don't want to add a display capture either. I want to add a window capture. There we go. Google. No. Chrome. All right. That's not what I want. Well, we'll start with that. But what we'll do is we'll add this. Then we'll change it to that one. No. Yeah, that's the one I want right there. That didn't work. Okay, let's try this one more time. That's the one. All right. Let's find. So you can see here in my tabs, I have the Google Analytics, or not the Analytics. I have my live streaming tab open. See? All right. So let's go to Google. Let's find absinthe. YNTH, absinthe. I think that's how I spell it. Liquor store, Maryland. Let's find you some absinthe, Angie. Let's see what we can find. Absinthe liquor store. Hey, you know, Reddit has answers. Let's see what Reddit says. Blacktail, New York City. Shop at Buy Online Drizzly. Bingo. If we buy online at Drizzly, come on. Back. It's going to take a second. I don't want to go to Reddit. Stop. Back. My CPU's holding up nicely. All right, we're going to close this tab. We're going to go back. We're going to do it again. We'll just go to, we'll go to drizzly.com. That should do it, right? We'll go to Drizzly. We'll say our address is somewhere in Maryland. We'll go to the governor's mansion in Maryland. Where's the governor's mansion in Maryland? Governor's mansion, GOVERNOR mansion, Maryland. Maryland Governor's Mansion, the official residence, is 110 Star Circle. Let's find what? Weed? Huh? This is not the Drizzly website, I don't think. I don't think that's the right Drizzly website. Let's find the mayor's house in Hagerstown. Maybe that'll be a better address. Mayor Hagers, GERSTOWN MD. Well, that's Texas. That's not gonna fucking get me where I want to go. Hagerstown. We'll just find a generic address, like right here. Hagerstown, Maryland. Venture Drive, supercharger, a Tesla supercharger. Does it give me an address? Yeah, here we go. Okay. So let's go to Drizzly. Oh, there's one Z in Drizzly. DRIZLY, not two Z's. We got one in Titusville. All right. You may have gotten that request. Oh, bacon. You make me laugh. Let's add chat to the mix real quick. Window capture. Add chat. Okay. There you go. And we will put this above my big old head. Right there. Yeah. And I will shrink me up a little further. Boop. It's cold outside. Don't judge me. Alright. Man, this is taking fucking forever. Turn you down a little bit. See, looky here. Video production process on the fly. ABSYNTHE. Find some stuff here. No shrinkage. You're getting absinthe and a Tesla. I mean, to be fair, of course I'm 21. I'm 1,400 years old in this incarnation. What was I going to say? Whorehouse is next. See, none of the comments are hidden in my chat screen. So as they come in, they're all there. Okay, enter delivery address to shop. Well, let's say this delivery address is going to be 17803 Venture. What? There we are. Come on. Oh, it's still thinking. It's not loaded yet. Everything is jammed up right now. But I'm still I still have good yeah, do not put your address up here for all the degenerates to see, Angie. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go with open back up computer screen 14 I'm sorry, 17803 Venture Drive, Maryland. That is a Tesla charging station. 21740. That is the delivery address. Please select a description from the. Come on. What? There's no. Just shut up. Come on. Make the thing fucking. Ugh. All right. Now I'm going to go back to Drizzly over here on my computer, on my phone, since it's being stupid on the TV, on the computer screen. I told you to start shopping, and it wants me to pick a suggestion from the drop down, but there are no suggestions from the drop down to pick. Fucking idiots. So, Drizzly. Oh, but I can't use the app unless I think I can log in. Continue with Apple. Did that work? This is great YouTubing, isn't it? All right, change my address. Let's see if this works. Search. What am I looking? What I'm trying to do? Address, account, addresses. Here we go. New address. Add a new address. 17803. 17803. What is it? Venture Drive. Venture. Oops. Drive. Hagerstown, Maryland. There we go. That's just custom. That's fine. Nothing. Next. Oops. All right. We're saving that address. Oh, that address is not served by Drizzly. All right. Where are we at? What are we looking for? Titusville. Nope, not Titusville. Titsville. What? Titsville. Okay, somewhere in Maryland. Anywhere in Maryland. Maryland. Maryland, USA. I don't think Drizzly serves Maryland. All right, so let's go with liquor store in Hagerstown, Maryland. JRJ Liquors. Let's go with that. Or did that say Pennsylvania? It said Pennsylvania, didn't it? Oh, it's Pennsylvania Avenue. Okay. This is the largest liquor store. This is the largest liquor store in Hagerstown, Maryland. Let's see what they've got. Maybe they have a searchable inventory. Possibly. Let's find out. No, I don't want. No, thank you. No, thank you. Search. ABSYNTHE. Go. At the Liquor Locker in Hagerstown, Maryland, they've got Merlot and a rare whiskey lottery. That's nice. Search results. Page 1 of 0. Your search produced 0 results. All right, so they don't have absinthe. Hmm. I mean, it's not a high volume item. So let's try again. Do y'all have Total Wines in Maryland? Uh, you've not hijacked. I've got like literally nothing else to talk about for the rest of the night. I can do Google fucking hell. I can do Google searches all night. I'm fine. Um, why didn't you tell me you've been to the liquor locker? I would have stopped. Do you have Total Wines? Okay, not that you know of. Let's see here. Old Orchard Liquors. I keep saying liquored. Old Orchard Liquors in Hagerstown. Let's see what they've got. Although it did say beer and wine. But they got spirits. By liquor, liqueur, single malt liquors, show more. Alright, let's look and see. ABSYNTHE. Show me. No, I don't want your stupid club. Thank you. Show me what you got. I see wine's on sale. Absinthe. I feel like Bob Barker. Show me. No, it wouldn't be Bob Barker. That'd be who was the guy for Steve Harvey is on, but who was the guy on Family Feud? He'd be all like, "Show me mustache," and like, bing, show up with mustache. Okay, so 0 for 2. Is absinthe illegal in Maryland? Or Richard Dawson? That's the name, right? Um, so here's a question: is Maryland a government distribution, ABC distribution, or do they have private? Is ABSYNTHE illegal in Maryland, or is absinthe legal in Maryland? Either one is fine. Google. It does not consider absinthe. Oh, fuck me. In the goat ass. The United States does not consider absinthe to be a controlled substance. However, its sale in bars and liquor stores is illegal. That's not. Oh, in Maryland, maybe. This might be able to tell us. That's not true, because I can get absinthe here in Houston. Yeah, Dawson was creepy as fuck. Um, but they also had that round guy for a while. Drew Carey did it for a while, I think. They've had a lot of hosts of the. Can't show Jared J right around the corner. This is customer service, is what this is. I think I might have locked up my. Yeah, we're beginning to drop frames. All right, where can I buy absinthe in Maryland? Let's find out. According to whoever the hell this is, does not exceed, as long as the amount of Fujone in the absinthe does not exceed 35 milligrams, it can be sold in the majority of the European countries. That's not true, because I can drink it. Absinthe drinkers in the United States are not allowed to consume it. A law was passed making it illegal in the U.S. 2 levels were relegated by 2007 with this product. Wormwood, anise, and fennel are typically used to make it, and no sugar is added to it. Huh. Is absinthe still made with wormwood? Absinthe? Nope. Scroll down the other way. Thank you. Was prohibited in American markets until 2007. Well, you just fucking said law was passed making it legal in the United States. Okay. Despite the abundance of liquor store options, it's difficult to choose. It may just be hard to find it because it's just not a popular drink. Uh, it's not a popular liqueur or uh, so where the fuck can we find it? That's awesome. Where is it illegal? Where is it legal? This is where we want to. This is what we want to know right here. Um, what hemp cultivation? What the fuck's that have to do with absinthe? Oh fucking hell. What? Where is it? Because only absinthe containing over 10 milligrams per kilogram of thujone are prohibited by the TTB, but most absinthes actually only contain a fraction of that amount. What is thujone? Thujone, an alkaloid found in several savory plants such as wormwood, tarragon, and sage. Huh. Maybe we should do a show on absinthe. And I should get a bottle of it here in Texas because I can get a bottle here in Texas. Where is it legal? Right here, Texas, Wisconsin, Florida. Maryland. There it is. It is legal in Maryland. You just got to find it. Probably because it's just not popular. It's not a there's not a lot of places to carry it because it's just not popular. Uh, it's one of those niche products like sorghum rum, the effects of wormwood. Uh, all right, so that's enough of that nonsense. Let's go back to there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Where's my chat screen? It's a little bit bright. Angle this down a little bit so it's not in my eyes. Okay. JRJ right around the corner. Is it your way of asking the free beer's free beer? $20, $20. Yep. Who's a big spoon? Um, we will. Absinthe is shit. I've had it one time, and I thought it was like, I mean, it was sweet, and it was because it was served over the block of sugar. Um, Ouzo. Hello, researchers. OOZO. It's a dry anise flavored aperitif that is widely consumed. I've had ouzo before. There's a Greek restaurant or there used to be a Greek restaurant in downtown Houston, across the street from the. I don't know why you keep getting flagged, Mike. I don't know. Yeah, it's a grown up show. I don't have any grown up filters, so you shouldn't be getting flagged. Anyway, there's this Greek restaurant that was across the street from the Houston Symphony Theater, and that's where we were. We ate that night before we went to the show, and the owner of the place came out and he was talking to us because we were dressed nice and we looked nice and we were having a good time and enjoying ourselves before our show started. And he came out and he said, I want to bring you something from the back. And he goes in the back and he pours us up a couple of glasses of his ouzo that he had. And it was uh, an acquired taste, to say the very least. It was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. Um, yeah. But as for the absinthe, when we had it, it was a show, because it was the spoon and the sugar and the absinthe and the the lighting of the alcohol, and it was just like this whole like thing that was done, and it was like it was. I didn't think it tasted. I don't know exactly what it tasted like because I had it with the sugar cube and it tasted like sugar. It tasted like sweet water. So there you go. Maybe we should do a show. I did the tasting on our Oishi whiskey last week. Maybe I should do a show on absinthe. Maybe that's what I should do. Every couple of Wednesdays, buy a bottle of something weird and unique, and talk about the history and science, and if there's philosophy associated with it, the philosophy of that particular drink, like the philosophy behind Japanese style single malt whiskeys is basically they wanted to recreate scotches in the flavor and style of scotch in Japan, which this tastes an awful lot like a scotch. So philosophically, they were trying to build scotches. The history of it and the uh, science behind it feeds into that whole idea. So yeah, I mean that might not be such a bad idea. Thanks, Old Humble Guy, for giving me a great fucking idea. Well, you're welcome, Old Humble Guy, for giving you a great fucking idea. You should probably write that down because if you don't write it down, you're going to forget it, you dumb son of a bitch. You're right. I should write that down. Thank you so much for that advice to remind me to write it down. Absinthe night on a whiskey Wednesday. Happy hour. Might not be such a bad idea. Might not be such a bad idea. I mean, it's going to build out my. I could call it market research. It's going to build out my liquor cabinet. I have something other than hundreds and hundreds of bottles of Old Humble whiskey. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you have hundreds and hundreds of bottles of Old Humble whiskey, here's a good start. Because then eventually you'll have thousands and thousands of bottles of Old Humble whiskey. And if you've got thousands and thousands of bottles of Old Humble whiskey, you should probably have a lot of friends because you're smart and awesome and clever and infinitely attractive. So there you go. Straight shot of Everclear panel one. Oh my God, straight shot of Everclear. That's a fucking suicide round, is what that is. Jesus. Um, butt chugging Everclear. Everclear tampon shots. YouTube would flag that video. You can't show your butt cheeks unless you have a thong on the YouTubes. Oh Lord. Been pushing this to a few. I mean, I am 100% open about the idea that I am not a big fan of Everclear. It doesn't taste like anything. I'll mix it with stuff, but I will not uh uh I'll not drink it straight. Everclear is perfect for putting in watermelons. Um and I suppose Dr. Pepper too. But um yeah, no. The Everclear is great for tinctures. That is right. Because it's pure alcohol, so it's alcohol. It will leach out anything that you have in herbs and fruits and spices and whatnot. Trying to get me to drink that on. Man, are they wild, crazy? The Wiccan priestesses, I believe, is what you're talking about. It would probably, yeah. Anyway, goodness gracious. I think I've lost control of chat. For drunk art, you need to know what to drink. Shots. Angie, uh, I have done on my own show here. Nope, that's not one of them. I've done a couple of different pieces of art on my own show. Where's the other? Bring the action. Where'd it go? I painted this live on the show. This one here. That is acrylics on canvas. And I have another one lurking around here somewhere that is the Amarillo by Morning is the painting, if I recall what I called it. Around here somewhere. Somewhere in this mess of shit that I've got in my office. Where'd it go? I've got to clean my office at some point. Oh, it's the Disney Trivia Board. I also need to set up the show for tomorrow night, our trivia show. I'm pretty sure I painted another one. I thought I painted another one. It'll turn up somewhere along the way. But I did it live on the show. I painted it like during the show. Hold on, I'm going to go over here real quick. Maybe I have it down here. Maybe I've lost it entirely. Did I lose the whole fucking painting in my office? I mean, it's possible I lost the painting. It's possible. It's not out of the question. I've done dumber things, I suppose. That one. No. Where'd it go? Well, you can count your bottom dollar that I will be tearing apart my office to find that missing painting. At some point, the next 24 hours, I'll hopefully find it. Y'all can't hear a goddamn thing I'm saying, though. My face is not pointed at my microphone. Huh. So, was this the Amarillo by Morning? This might be the painting that I did that was the Amarillo by Morning. And if you, I think, is this light plugged in? No. It's not, I don't think. Yeah, no, the light's not plugged in. There's a, yeah, it kind of glows from the back. There's a backlight on it. It kind of glows from the back. So yeah, I did this in about, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes during the show while I was talking. It's somewhere on my channel. It's around. But, of course, I'm going to fixate on this one that I'm missing because I painted another one. It was more blue, if I recall. I painted one that was more blue. Oh, there it is. I'll be right back. I found it. Ugh. Can't get through shit over here. Everything's a mess. Anyway, this was another one that I painted on the show. This was the Amarillo Sunrise. And that is also, it was in conjunction with a cocktail that we made called the Amarillo Sunrise. Was it back here? Yeah, there it is. The cocktail is the Amarillo Sunrise cocktail. Whiskey sour with a dash of grenadine. Delicious drink. The Amarillo Sunrise was a drink that was inspired by my own time as a rodeo cowboy way back in the late 1970s. I had just finished an event in San Antonio. I'd lost my saddle, as a matter of fact, in San Antonio, and called up my girlfriend and let her know. And she's like, there's no reason even coming home. And I told her, that's fine because I've got another event up in Amarillo that I get to, and if I leave now, I should be able to make it by morning. And that was the last thing I said to her. So I was heading from San Antonio up to Amarillo for the next event. And that was the, off to the right, you could see as the sun was rising over the plains, that was the image. And that was the drink, the cocktail, the image. It was all the Amarillo Amarillo. There was a singer, songwriter, a good fella from Temple, if I'm not mistaken, right up north near Dallas, who wrote a song about the same event. He heard the story, he was inspired, he wrote himself a song. In fact, he called that song Amarillo by Morning, if I'm not mistaken. But the Amarillo Sunrise, uh, yeah. So there you go. Um, I one of these days, I'll probably make another. I have a picture in my head that I'd like to get on a canvas, but at some point I will. I'll have to actually do that. And I like to pair the paintings with a cocktail. So if I can repeat the story that inspired the painting and put it into a cocktail, it all kind of comes together for uh, the show. But our Wednesday nights have kind of been focused on art, or not art, but science and history and philosophy. Maybe not next Friday, but the Friday after. Well, maybe it'll be next Friday because I'll be coming back from I'll be coming back from a tasting on the first. Maybe next Friday we'll start branding our Friday night show not as the live music Fridays, but as a whiskey and art. Because I've got one, two, three, four, five, six more canvases over here, and I've got six canvases in there. I've got enough canvases to be able to do stuff. Maybe it will. And my lovely wife gave me a whole set of uh, uh, oil paints that I haven't done anything with. And if you look over here over my right shoulder, I have a bunch of acrylics in my uh, roll top, a bunch of acrylic paints that are just sitting here waiting to get used. Bunch of come on, where'd you go? So at some point I got to use this stuff. I mean, I've got them, and I've got in here. No, in here. I've got a whole nother set of paints that I haven't even opened yet. Right here. Anyway, yeah, be fun. Maybe hell, we could have a dueling paint off. You could come in on Zoom. You could do. You could be painting on your side of the screen. I could be painting on my side of the screen, and we'll just like see how it goes. Like you could do your thing, and I could do my thing. You could do your acrylic pours and flow art, the fluid arts. I could do my. Oh, dude, that'd be fucking awesome. We could have like dueling paints. Wow, I'll have the camera like over my shoulder, and I'll be on my canvas. You'll have your camera on your canvas and the overheads. Oh, dude, that'd be neat. That's a neat idea. Old Humble guy, write down your fucking idea. Don't be stupid. Dueling a paint off. That'd be cool. That would be neat. Okay, what was I reading? I would say sex on the beach is good, but sand really makes things problem. You know. Ah, the sand in a condom is called a meat grinder. Thank you. Got to do it for the wet. I don't even know where you started with the where the spirits are usually the biggest bang for your buck. Even in Washington State, the most draconian liquor tax in the country. Um, Sex on the Beach. I guess there's probably the story behind the Sex on the Beach. Yeah, right. Um, where are we at? There we are. I'll be here with bells on. You won't know where they are, but I guarantee I'll be jingling. That looked like burnt umber. Which one? This one? Burnt umber? Or no? The paint. Yeah. Very likely so. It would have been this one. Is it burnt umber? This one is Venice red. But I'm sure I've got burnt umber in here somewhere. Maybe it's this one. Acrylic. Nope, that's just brown. I'm sure I've got burnt umber in there. I don't doubt it. Burnt umber is what that dude Bob Ross used. I mean, he'd say burnt umber all the time. Little ochre, little burnt umber. Um, I mean, that was my first introduction to actual art, and I never really considered myself artistic, but like, there's no such thing as you get good at it the more you do it, and like I've done like 6 times. So I don't consider myself good at it. I'm just not. I'm shameless, and I have no problem doing it. Um, Texas life. Um, that would be. I thought you might like that idea. So yeah, I think we should do it definitely. Keep getting censored. It's not a problem. Don't worry about being censored. We have mods. Bacon will fix it. We did get you posted, right? Yeah, we got you all posted. You're all good. Um, yeah, there it is. He's got your back. He'll unhide the comments. Exactly. Uh, Moose Gal's in the house. Hi, Moose Gal. Cheers. Um, I I'll still watch his uh shows. I'm really glad that they re-released them on Netflix and Amazon. I get a kick out of just the creation process. And that's what I like most about watching art streams and art uh the creative process around getting an idea from your brain into canvas, how it rarely finishes the way you expect it to. You can start with an idea in your head and then it'll finish entirely different. Like when I painted this one, um, I started with a very different idea from what it finished, but I really liked the way it finished. Uh, I really, really liked the way it finished. And then um, this one was much closer to the way it finished, or the way it started. That was much closer to the idea, but that first one, this one was another one that I did on a much smaller little cabin in the woods idea. That's as much an eighth grade painting as you could possibly get. But the yeah, this one started off as a very different painting in my head and finished this way, and I really liked the way it finished. But that's not unlike how uh, businesses get started and progress. They finish in ways that you don't expect it. They move to think, you pivot into a new direction, a new idea, a new product. You start here, and there's little branches of ideas, and you follow one, and it becomes something else, and something else, and something else, until eventually you're looking back from a very different business, a very different place than where you started, and that is in so many ways a description of life that it is um, it's hard to find a better analogy than starting a painting, putting some uh, putting some ink on a canvas, putting something on a canvas, some paint on a canvas, and then just going from there and seeing where it leads you. Um, the best news behind the scenes. Um, Moose Gal. Where's Moose Gal's serious question? Oh, bacon or no bacon on a burger? That is a good question, Moose Gal. When I was talking about the perfect burger, I did not mention bacon as an additive to the burger because I think you can have the perfect burger without bacon, but even like just the basic construction. Um, Not everybody, I don't know why, but not everybody likes bacon. Um, Bacon is not required to make a good burger. I think it does. I think bacon makes every fucking burger better, absolutely without question. But when you're constructing the burger, the basic components of a good burger, the basic components of a base, and this is the same basic notion of the perfect burrito episode we did 100 years ago. Like you could put bacon in a burrito and make your burrito better, but the burrito doesn't require bacon to be a basic good burrito. So um, without question, you can add bacon to a burger and make it better, but the perfect burger does not require bacon to be had. Just like you can, and some people will add, some people add fucking onions to their burgers. But you don't have to have onions on the burger to make the burger perfect. Uh, in my personal opinion, you add onions to a burger, you've ruined the burger. Just straight up. Pickles. Best way to have pickles on a burger is on the bottom part, the bottom bun. And here's why: because all your good stuff is on the top. Your burger, your bacon, your cheese, your lettuce, tomatoes, whatever. And then you can like flip it over and open it up, take the pickles and flick them out your window, and then close it back up and go. Um, but as far as the construction of the burger, the scaffolding, the requirements of the burger, you have your toasted bun, you have your 80 to 90% beef patty, you have your cheese if you want it, not required. Cheese, then then you put your toppings if you're gonna have your toppings, and then the condiments go with the toppings, and then toasted bun, smack it. And the primary thing to remember when you're making the perfect burger, as always, is it's got to be able to be held with one hand. If you can't hold the burger with one hand, it's too big or it's too floppy, and you've missed the mark on an otherwise perfect meal. So there you go. Uh-huh. All right. So Angie, start with a preconceived idea of what you want to port, right? And yeah, I mean exactly. I mean you can think it's going to come out a certain way. And I've seen the way you put the like there's a process for you putting together your paints as you do the colors as they're going to go. You have in your head a process. You're not just randomly throwing shit on canvas or acrylic or whatever you're pouring it onto. But randomness seeps into the thing, and my medium is uh, paintbrushes and canvas. I'm not. There's less randomness as far as how the paints are flowing out and onto the canvas, but um, there is a tremendous amount of randomness, especially because I'm not that like my hand doesn't do necessarily what my brain is telling it to do. Like I think I want it to look like this, and then when it actually touches the canvas and the outcome is uh, finalized on the canvas, I can look at it and go, that's not what I thought it would do, but okay, I'm good with that. And then I just kind of go from there. Um, so yeah, in fact, this one I wanted this one to be lighter colored, and it came out very much darker than I expected it to, because I started with the sunrise part, and it just kind of went from there. Um, but that's also more of a valley than the plains, so it might be a sunset rather than a sunrise. Nah. I'll hang it in a gallery someday. Sell it for a cool $1 million and fund an orphanage. Tell people it's made by somebody important. They don't need to know who. Finish the ways you expect. That can be truer than you know. Ask my old neighbors who filed noise complaint the first night I bought a bowl of. I mean, and that's that those are life lessons. Most things will finish in ways you don't expect them to finish, and you've always got to be you've got to be prepared for that. I mean, that's what happened in France in 1789. They decided to have themselves a revolution, and it did not end the way they expected it to end. Revolutions get out of hand. They get very out of hand, and you can never know what to expect if you're having a true revolution. And if you're putting something truly truly new, if you're creating something truly new on canvas or in business or if you're creating people, you're making kids happen. You can never truly know what to expect at the end of the line because it's something that's entirely new. It's never happened before. It's never been a thing in existence until you started it. If you're just trying to paint fruit, for example, or a landscape of something that actually exists. There's a house. I'm painting a house. There's a person. I'm painting the person. There's a bowl of fruit. I'm painting a bowl of fruit. You're recreating an image that already exists on canvas. But if you're truly bringing a new thing into existence, then the ultimate outcome is never determined until it's finally finished. And that final finished product doesn't necessarily, the final finished product of anything newly created has no obligation to conform to your preconceived notions. No obligation. The universe does not give a shit what you think. The universe will do what the universe does. It has no obligation to abide by your feelings. So if you're bringing something entirely new into existence, that new thing that you're bringing into existence has no obligation whatsoever to make you feel okay. It will be the thing that your emotion and psyche and mind are creating at that moment, and it will react to its environment as you will react to your environment while you're creating it, and it will continue to act in its environment as it is continuing to be created. And you can never fully control the act of creation unless you're simply reforming or recreating something that already exists. And that's not a true, I don't think that that's a true act of creation. I think that's an act of recreation. That's an act of reproduction and not creation, because if you're truly creating something, it's going to be something entirely new. And it just doesn't, that thing doesn't care about your feelings. The universe just doesn't give a The universe has been here long before you have, and it will be here long after you're gone, and it does not give a shit about your feelings. It could not care less. And that's one of the things that I like about putting paint on canvas or putting pen to paper or building a business, for that matter. It's an act of creation, and there's this revelatory event at the end of that creation that is just amazing, and it's really hard to explain with human words. It really is, because it's I'm going to use words that sound stupid out loud. It's a mystical, almost supernatural type of experience. I mean, there's formulas to it, obviously, but you're creating an entirely new thing. And it is, ultimately at some point, in your business's lifespan or your art's lifespan or your child's lifespan. At some point, it has to go out into the world and interact without you being its voice. At some point, your business, if you do business right, at some point your business escapes you and it becomes its own thing. At some point, your children escape you and become their own human beings. At some point, your art goes out in the world and it becomes its own thing. And you don't control that anymore. It becomes its own thing, and people put into it what they want. They get out of it what they want. They see what they want to see in it. They feel what they want to feel when they're near it. They can be inspired by it. They can be depressed by it. Uh, they can get anxiety from it. They can get inspiration from it. They can get joy. They can get all kinds of things when they're interacting with your business or the people or your art, whether it's comedy or music or uh, canvases that are floating out in the ethos or videos or whatever the fuck you're doing. Whiskey, whatever it is that you're doing. And at some point it becomes a thing that it's completely independent and you can't control what it does in the world anymore. It becomes its own thing. And that is, I find that to be just an amazing an amazing thing that not everybody gets to experience in their lifetime. Not everybody gets to experience the thrill and joy and terror and anxiety and euphoria of creating an entirely other thing. And that's a cool thing to be able to do at some point in your life if you get that opportunity. Um, and I strongly recommend that everybody should take that opportunity at least once or twice in their life to create a thing. No matter what that thing is, create a thing. And we have a lot of resources that allow us to be able to do that. From social medias to video cameras to blogs to, just whatever it is that you want to create. There's all kinds of opportunities to create a thing. And, sometimes those things that you create, they just don't be anything. And that'll never happen. But you can always create it, and it may not interact with the world at large, but you can create a thing and you can set it there on your shelf. And even if the world that thing interacts with is just you, then there's the very real possibility that the thing you create can take on a life of itself within your universe with that thing. Uh, you can make videos on the YouTubes that nobody watches, but the act of creating the videos on YouTube, they don't have to change the world, they change you. They change the way you see things and the way you do things and the way you go about doing things because you reorganize your day. Um, the you that you create when you make the video because you get into this process, or the you that you create when you go out and run a mile or ride your bike for an hour or go swimming for 45 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. The you that you create becomes a new thing in the universe. And that's, or, you can, hell, this shitty little thing that can sit on a shelf in my own office and nobody else has to see it. But I walk past that and at some point can I can decide what the story is with those trees, or if that's maybe those aren't clouds, maybe that's actual snow on a mountain range and I'm just really bad at painting. Or who lives in that fucking house? I don't know. I can create a whole thing around it that can be my own personal narrative. That can a whole fucking universe that I can create within the four walls of that canvas. And it can be my thing. And you don't ever have to participate in that, but I can, and I can create a whole world in there that can. I mean, it could terrify, it could inspire, it could do all kinds of things in between my ears, uh, to to give me something else that I don't know, working in a cubicle at a bank never could. Who knows? Who knows? But that's a that creation does not have to be a thing for a mass market. It can be something solely for you. You can make a flower pot planter out of rubber galoshes and whatever that gives you joy every day when you see that on your back patio. Whatever. There's better ways to use galoshes, I think. But hey, whatever. Do your thing. Put sunflowers in galoshes if that's what you want to make it do. So yeah, I strongly encourage people to use their creativity and create shit. Build a universe. Do it. You can do it. There's a there's a spiritual component to that, and it could be a simple act of planting seeds in an orchard that'll grow trees that you'll never enjoy the fruit off of. You may not be creating something for this generation. You may be creating something for 2 generations from now. I mean, you don't know. You never, ever quite know how what you do will interact with the world around you and the universe. Once you let the bird go, you can't be held responsible for who it poops on. That thing becomes a thing that it will fly around the world and crap on plenty of folks. Um, Thank you, Angie. That the I yeah, I appreciate that. It is a deep contrast in the colors between the gold of the sun and the darkness below and the redness around it. Um, I wanted it to be a contrast from this one because this one had a lot of blue that I started with up here, a lot of red down here, but a lot of blue up here. Uh, and this one I wanted to be more red and gold, and it became a lot of brown and green as well. Anyway, enough about all that for now. Moose cow, sex beach me out with sandals. I don't know anybody that would. Well, we our beaches are Galveston beaches, and it's not exactly like sandy beaches. They're more like dirt beaches. Um, so yeah, no, I don't. I'm not a. I'm not a. I'd rather sex in the surf, not sex on the beach. Go out in the water, do it with the fishes. Um, Dallas. Uh, Headed to Dallas while helping your brother drive to Chapel Hill. That sounds like Bison Burger, if I had to guess. Um, 10, 10 years ago, products of our environment. We are all products of our environment, but not entirely, because I mean, there are genetics involved, but yeah, I mean, to a large extent, I think environment holds impact of a lot more impact on outcomes than we give it credit for. Um, Situational poverty, generational poverty, all that stuff. That's real. It's very, very, very fucking real. It doesn't matter how many degrees your parents have or how many books your parents have. If you, if your house gets caught up if your neighborhood gets caught up in a war zone, and you become a refugee, you're gonna have a tough time. You're gonna have a real tough time. Cinema's still there. Go there. Maddie J's in the house. Check out some barbecue. Cheers, Maddie. Thanks for joining us. Great hamburger recipes. The Barbecue Pit Boys. Oh shit, where'd it go? How far back are we now? That's 12:30. 12:40. I'm 12 minutes behind on chat again. I'll catch up. Give me a second. Universe knows why we're all here. I don't really think the universe gives a shit while we're here. It's going to expand until it can't expand anymore, and we're going to look up. If we're still around, we're going to see a dark sky, and the universe isn't even going to care that we're looking up. We are floating in the universe by ourselves. Art creation response to all that is the beauty of life in so many ways. Yeah, Moose Gal, you kind of missed the burger discussion, but not entirely. I mean, I'm still down to chat burgers. But you can always go back about 15 minutes into the show. That's about where I started, 15, 20 minutes in. And I went for about 15, 20 minutes, give or take. Avocado always goes on a burger. Moose Gal, I will kick you out of chat if you give me that shit. Avocado is just garbage fruit. It is trash. My best way to prepare an avocado is you slice it open, you take the pit out, you throw all 3 bits in the garbage. That is the best way to prepare an avocado. And the reason why you need to slice it open and take the pit out is because if you don't slice it open and take the pit out, the pit may still sprout. You've got to slice it open, take away all those nutrients, throw it out. Ugh. The worst food. There is as bad as onions. And at least onions don't look like a wrinkled old set of testicles. God. I love you, Moose Gal. If you want avocados on your burger, have avocados on your burger. I don't mind. It's fine. I don't care. I'll never have avocados on my burger. I don't like avocados. I think they're just dreadful. Although, that said, if you have lean meat and you don't want to put eggs or lard or any other kind of fat in your meat, avocado is a good substitute for mayonnaise or eggs or lard to fatten up your meat, because avocado has that same type of oily, fatty type of texture that you get with the eggs. You can slice up an avocado. Make sure you have the proper weight ratio between the meat and the avocado. Slice it up and just hand mix it into your ground beef. So there you go. Well, Angie, to be completely fair, this is the segment of the show that it's wide open for chat, and we can have our philosophy and history and all that other shit. This is where we get into the deep nonsense. Artists can be truth tellers regarding humanity. Artists are some of the best truth tellers when it comes to the truths about humanity, because artists don't have to be bound by reality. They can create. That's one of the great things about sci-fi as social commentary, because you can take a specific situation of today, remove it from the cultural context of today, and put it into a neutral cultural context to highlight the absurdity of it. That's why racism was so easy to call out in something like Star Trek, because Star Trek was based in 2460, I think, somewhere like 400 or 500 years from now. And goddamn, when Star Trek came out, it was 500 years in the future, and now it's 450. Wow. Anyway, so it was based in this post-apocalyptic, Star Trek is post-apocalyptic, by the way. This post-apocalyptic civilization where they solved the problems rather than have the problems just collapse civilization several times. So they could highlight the ridiculousness of the social situations from the 60s and 70s. They could highlight it because they were living in a world where it didn't happen. So they could look around and go, why are you thinking that? Why are you doing this? We don't understand why it's like that because we don't have that. I don't get it. So yeah, art can absolutely be a truth teller and call out the ridiculousness of the world we live in ways that you just can't do it otherwise. You can't just talk about it in the context of the world we live in. You have to make a allegorical situation with wizards and ogres and what other nonsensical crap you want to do. So there you go. No lettuce or tomatoes on any burger. Really? No, you don't like lettuce and tomatoes on the benefit of lettuce and tomatoes in the burger is that it creates nooks and crannies. It creates gaps and voids that the condiments can go into. If you pour ketchup on lettuce, then there's gaps and voids in the lettuce that'll hold the ketchup and mustard and all the other stuff. Infused liquors absolutely counts as art, my homeboy. That is 100% factually true. And Maddie, the earth is not flat. That's nonsensical bullshit. Feta cheese on a burger. I love blue cheese on burgers. Oh my God, blue cheese and bacon and a little A1 and mustard. And oh my God, it's fucking heaven. Oh, it's like a fucking orgasm on bread. It is so good. Yeah, anyway. Feel more confident the me? The more confident the me realized when I'm at my best, but trying to do with for a stranger's turn inside it. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Created 2 daughters. Taught me more than anything in this world. Yeah, and see, that's one of the really cool things about the act of creation is you can learn from your own creation, and it changes you. It makes you a different person when you go through this process. It is it's fascinating in ways that we don't really understand. Love the composition. That's awesome. I don't know what that means. What composition? That is 12:39. It is 12:52. I am still 13 minutes behind on chat. Angie, I'm pretty sure we all worked at a cubicle in a bank at one point in time. I worked in a cubicle in a bank at one point in time. It is exhaustive. And the composition, that would be this composition. Right, gotcha. I think I painted that at a niece's birthday party or Christmas party. I can't remember. About the cheese. Oh, I hate it when it does that. It just skips forward like that. Scroll up. I'll catch up. The combo that makes me blasphemous is 2 separate religions. Lisa's have to. Whatever else you want to add. Yeah. I'd love to sell my house, get a reliable SUV, and travel all over the country and visit all of my. I would love it. Absolutely. I've often wondered if I had the courage to do that. If I had if the opportunity present, if my kids move out and I have would I have the courage to sell my house, sell my car, sell my wife's car, get an RV, travel the country? Would I have the courage to do it? I don't know. I truly, truly don't know if I'd have the courage to pull that off. I don't know. I've wondered that, because there was a time in America where you could sell all your shit and head west and get free land. And I wonder Like legitimately wondered a lot of times if I had the courage to do that shit. I had the courage to finally start my own business. That was it's still terrifying. Every beginning of every month, it's terrifying having to write that rent check and write checks for 4,000, 5,000, 10,000, 12,000. Oh Jesus! The most expensive check I've written is 35,000 to buy some equipment, and it's just every time you do it, every time you reach another level, it's just like, God, I've never done this before. This is the biggest check I've ever written. It's terrifying. Um, but to actually sell all your stuff and have all of your possessions, like all of your possessions in your wallet, everything you own is in your wallet. God, that's fucking terrifying. That is a terrifying idea. I don't know if I can pull that off. I truly don't. Um, and I guess theoretically I could do that now, but my kids are in school, and that's my excuse. I can't really do that because my kids are in school. I can't take my kids out of school. Um, so, goddamn bacon. You're always welcome to Washington State. Washington State is as far away as you could possibly go, though. We do have a trip planned through Washington State, me and my lovely wife and our kids. So, um, if we finally make that trip, I'll give you a holler when we're traveling through your state there, Bacon. Uh, Moose Gal, oh my goodness, a well done burger. Why? Oh, why are you doing this to me, Moose Gal? Oh my goodness. Oh, you want avocados on your well done burger? Oh my lord. Moose Gal. That's fine. Cook your poor burger to death. That poor thing. Ah, Moose Gal. Goodness. I love you dearly. Oh, and by the way, nice haircut. I saw the picture on the Facebooks. You look, uh, I think that's where you were. Yeah, you said you had a new look. The hairdo, haircut, whatever you want to call it. Look nice. Bravo, brava. Um, uh, because I'm talking. It's not because you're talking too much, Angie. You paint with your friends. Uh, she could, and there's an idea that I wrote down in my idea book. Uh, we might be able to stream that show on both of our channels at the same time, Angie. That'd be kind of cool. Love to meet too. Cool if we could do a. I might do. You know what? Moose Cow, Angie, Bacon, everybody. I'm gonna share this idea now. In February or March of next year, do an Old Humble YouTube-a-palooza show where I share some of our in-house releases, some of our barrel strength stuff, some of our uh, whatnots that we have in the distillery, and I invite a whole bunch of YouTubers down to Humble. We have a hotel nearby. I can get a block of rooms discounted for 8 or 10 YouTubers or whatever people coming. We have whiskey tubers. We could have art tubers. We could have um, politic tubers, if that's a thing, gamer tubers. We could have everybody come down, do a little YouTube-a-palooza in the distillery, everybody chilling out, everybody enjoying the whiskey, everybody stream their shows. We could block it out and everybody gets an hour and a half or whatever over the course of a couple of days. I'm kicking around this idea, trying to figure out how we could truly pull it off and light the internet on fire while we do it. So keep your ears open. Maybe February or March when the weather's really nice and everything's beautiful in Texas, and hopefully we have our build out mostly done. Uh, we'll see what we can do, and I'll keep everybody posted when we start actually fleshing this idea out and talking about it. It'll be in conjunction with a release of one of our bourbons, I'm sure, or a brandy, or I don't know, something. So there you go. Guacamole and onions are great on burgers. Guacamole and onions are the absolute worst. I hate guacamole. I hate guacamole. I hate onions. I like salsa. I prefer salsa over guacamole every day of the week. I will take guacamole and throw it in the trash. I will eat salsa. Salsa is a far superior condiment. That would be a condiment, right? It's a dip, I guess. I don't know. Guac on a burger. God, bless y'all's hearts. Bless y'all's hearts. Maryland is not too far away from Illinois. That is true. Y'all should totally get together. The Dominion War 2360. Yeah, exactly. It's a post Star Trek is a post-apocalyptic series, and it is one of the only post-apocalyptic series that is based in hope and not doom, which is cool. But if you pay attention, like all of their art and stuff is still Mozart and stuff from the 60s, and there's like nothing after the 60s. They don't have any great music from the 2010s. Like, this was a great artist in 2100. Like, they don't have any of that shit. This is a 350-year-old scotch. It's delicious because they don't have any scotch from like 200 years ago. So that's your post-apocalyptic world. Funky Uncle John. Way behind the chat, so I'll give him. I'm catching up. Oh shit, I'm 10 minutes. I've made up 3 minutes of time over the course of the last 10 minutes. I'm catching up. Yes, I figured it out, Angie. I'm slow but not terminal. Grilled pocket burger recipe. Matt, if you yeah, never mind. How the hell do I not like avocados? I don't like avocados because I like good food. That's how I don't like avocados. But took a ride along too many podcasters. Yeah. I've tried to coordinate meeting people when I've been on road trips, but it's really like when we're on our road trips, it's really tough to make side trips to meet people because it's like I'm going to be going over here to meet this guy, but we've got to be over here in our hotel by 6 o'clock, and it's really tough when we're on our family road trips. But yeah, so there you go. And get avocados on a burger. Yeah, it's a California thing. But like I said, avocados can be used as a binder. They're fatty. They're vegetables, but they have a fatty texture and consistency that if you mush them up, you mush them up. You can add them to the burger patty itself to help with the binder. It doesn't melt the same way that fat does, but it can be a binder for your actual for your burger. There are plenty of us, Mike, who absolutely despise avocados. I do not like them. I've never liked them, and I will I will I don't like I don't like their texture. I don't like their flavor. I don't like anything about them. So, ugh. Anyway, enough of the devil's testicles. Yeah. One of my drunk art guests, if you want yours, we could swap a bottle. We could swap a couple. We could do an absinthe night. I could get some absinthe and send it to you. Oh, that'd be funny. Maryland, 21090. Da da da. I would be down for that. Good. You should be down for it. It would be a fucking awesome. It would be if I do it right, it'll be a fun event. There'll be a whole lot of people here. I want to get at least like 10, but hopefully we could have more than that, and it would be just, everybody could do a show from the distillery. You could record a show, you could do a show. We might even be able to do several shows simultaneously because I have a fairly beefy internet connection in the distillery. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun thing to do. Eating tomatoes and lettuce paired with most. I like tomatoes and lettuce paired with most foods. In fact, there's some tomatoes that I'll eat just like an apple. You just bite into it. But there are very few tomatoes that taste good by themselves. See you, Mike. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. And look at there. I am caught up to fucking chat. Took me 4 more minutes to catch up to chat. So there. I rule. We open a choose your own adventure burger stand. I'll like make the burger. It'll be like have 2 sides of the burger stand. Like my side will be like make the burger, and then her side will be ruin the burger because her side will have the avocados and onions and all the other shit. What would I do with my business if I traveled to see my YouTube friends? Well, hopefully by the time I start to go traveling, you all quit typing. Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there's a lot less chat in the last 10 minutes, it looks. What would I do with my business if I went traveling full time? There would be 2 options. Either I'd have sold the business to somebody, or the business would be in the hands of a manager and they would be running it on my behalf while I was traveling the country and doing things. As it is right now, when I close the business, or when I go travel, when I go on a 2 weeks vacation or whatever with the family in the summer, I close the shop. We close up the shop. That's one of the reasons why we're not going on a family vacation this summer. Why we're just taking they're off at camps, and when they come back, we'll probably take a weekend down in Corpus Christi or Galveston. We'll just take some time off and close up the shop in the middle of the summer and have no activity. There's no activity when I'm on the road, when I'm not here at home in the shop, unless I have people who can come and do stuff. So like last time I was on the road, when we took a little mini trip out to Burnett. We took a little mini trip out to Burnett. Spent some time camping and visiting some distilleries and breweries and wineries and all kinds of fun stuff. We got a delivery of some barrels of rye whiskey, and I had somebody come to the shop to receive the whiskey on my behalf because I couldn't be there. I was 3.5, 4 hours away. So I've got some people who can stand in my place, but there's not a lot of people who can just do distillery work in general while I'm not there. But thankfully, right now, a lot of the work that I'm doing at the shop, it's at the shop, it's like 3 to 5 days a week worth of work, between 3 and 8 hours a day. So I can spend as little as 9 hours at the shop, or as much as 60 or 80 hours at the shop in a week, depending on what is required at the shop. But the other work that I do here in my office is marketing, advertising. Hell, yesterday was Tuesday. I drove 7.5 hours around the city of Houston doing marketing stuff, merchandising, what it's called, around the shops. So a lot of what I do has to be done in the shop, but most of what I do can be done anywhere I have my computer and an internet connection. So that's thanks. Thank you, Maddie. Go do what you need to do, man. See you tomorrow night for trivia if you come by for trivia. See you Friday night for music if you come by for music. As always, I appreciate you coming into chat. I absolutely 100% appreciate it. Even if you did come into chat just to post other people's links, it's fine. But yeah, cheers. Have yourself a great night, man. Get a good night's sleep and be productive or whatever you do at this hour. I am just about. I have a imperfection in the bottom of my glass, and it looks like a bug. Can y'all see that? Can you see that in there? Can you see that right here? There's like a bump in the bottom of my glass right there. Doesn't affect the flavor of the whiskey at all. Okay, so yeah, so there, yeah, Muscow. When I'm not home, um, I'm not doing a lot of work, but I can still do work wherever I have an internet connection, wherever I have my computer. For example, a year or so ago, when I was redesigning my labels for my special reserve whiskey, doing a little redesign on my labels for the special reserve whiskey, I was on the road in Arlington, Texas, it was December of 2021, middle of the pandemic. I was staying at a KOA because my niece had gotten COVID, and I didn't want to stay with my brother because their house was unclean as part of the outbreak. And I absolutely positively could not get sick. So I did not want to risk being in that house with her sick. So I camped out at KOA for a night. This was the weekend where I went from Houston to Dallas, Dallas to San Antonio, and San Antonio back to Houston. I did the whole Golden Triangle here in Texas between a Thursday and a Sunday. It was amazing being on the road like that. That was so much fun. But while I was in Arlington, I was on the phone with my label guy, working out the details of the labels that I wanted to have done, finishing that stuff, shooting emails back and forth with him, doing the art on my screen, kind of drawing out the changes. I couldn't print anything out because I didn't have a printer, but I was drawing out all the changes on the screen and giving notes and swapping back and forth information that way. I probably worked. My tasting was at like 5. I probably worked about 6 hours that day, just banging away on the computer. In fact, I think I live streamed from the KOA that night because it was a Thursday night. I live streamed from the KOA, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure that video may or may not be there still in the archives. But anywho, but yeah, if I sold my house and my car and bought an RV, I would have to either sell the business or have the business in the hands of a competent manager, which means that the business will have to grow significantly to be able to put in the hands of a competent manager. It is 1:15, boys and girls. I tell you what, it's probably time we wrap this up. Let me scroll, make sure we're all caught up to chat. Yeah, let's wrap this up. It's been a fun chat. It's been a fun time. I appreciate everybody as always joining. We've got 5 people still in chat. Let me give updates, final updates as our closing shots. I'm going to pour a little bit more whiskey right here. There we go. I will pour a little bit more whiskey, and I'm going to slowly recork my bottle just in case somebody else wants to say something and keep the conversation going, because I will follow this rabbit hole all the way down to the bottom if that is what it takes. Tomorrow night we have trivia, our final trivia of the month of June. Friday night we have our final Friday Night Live with Jason Lee Gardner. Let me see if I can get the picture up. There it is, Friday Night Live with Jason Lee Gardner, right there. June 24th. I'm sorry, Brandon Lee Gardner, not Jason Lee Gardner. Jason is the guy helping me organize it because it is where's my finger? That's what she said. There it is right there. Humble Whiskey Club night at the distillery. So we should have a really big crowd. Really good time. We're gonna have food, whiskey, uh, dancing girls, goats. We're gonna have all the stuff. It's gonna be fun. And then Friday is the 24th, which means Saturday the fireworks stands are going to be open, and I will be buying 600 rockets that we will be launching off. Probably the actual. Nope, this Friday is the last Friday of June is the last one of the summer. Um, it's just gonna be too hot in July. It's still when the sun goes down on my side of town. Turn to the anyway, sorry. Um, when the sun goes down behind the trees, the temperature drops. So it's going from like 95 down to 90, 85, give or take. But it doesn't cool off until like 8:30. Um, it's just hot. To have that many people out there, to have the band out there, the band is standing in the sun, we're standing in the sun, everything's just uncomfortable. Um, and I need to get the road show started back up. So I need to go out and do some tastings in the stores on Friday nights. And my tasting schedule is July 1st and 2nd, July 7th, 8th, 9th, uh, 14, 15, 16. Shit, I'm going from memory. I shouldn't. First and second, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, 16, 21, 22, 23, which is my lovely wife's birthday, and 28th and 29th when I run out of stores on the 29th of July. And yeah, so that's the Old Humble Road Show starts back up. We're gonna sell out the city of Houston of all of our rye whiskey and tee up another order of rye for Q3 and Q4, and it's just gonna get crazy, crazy for being uh, a whiskey man or something. That's my bastardization of Willie Nelson. Don't mind me. Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow, Friday night is our last live of the season, and then we will kick it back up in September with new bands, original music every Friday night. Um, Original music, 100% original music every Friday night going forward, starting in September. Um, and it's going to be insane. Absolutely insane. Um, I'm not road warrioring our tastings as much as I used to, where I would be doing 2 or 3 a day. Um, but I'm definitely I'm focusing a lot of energy in the Houston market in order to sell out our rye as effectively as I can. Um, every one of my tastings is between 5 and 8. Every one except for the one here in my hometown of Humble over the Atascocita store. The Atascocita store is going to be 2 to 5, and I think that's on the 16th. I can't remember. It might be the 23rd. I can't remember. But it's all written down in my calendar. I'll know the days when it's important. Um, Avocado is a fruit, not a vegetable. It's the devil's nutsack. That's what it is. Isn't that what I called onions too? The devil's nutsack, the devil's balls, devil's testes, whatever. Onions are terrible. I hate onions. Um, so yeah, there you go. Um, we've got tomorrow night Thursday trivia, Friday night music. Next week Wednesday, Thursday trivia, Friday. Friday. I don't know what we're gonna do Friday. I don't know if I have a show scheduled for next Friday because we're not gonna have music next Friday, and I'm gonna be on the road until 8 o'clock. So I may not be home until 9. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll just have a panel show. Maybe I'll open up the Zoom, put the Zoom link, and just let people join me and we'll just talk from 10 to midnight or whatever, do something. I don't know. Bacon's got his show at like 10 on Friday night next week, so maybe we'll do Bacon show on onions are the devil's fruit and the avocados are the devil's nutsack. So okay, so there you go. Thank you, Angie, for keeping the devil's anatomical details in line for me so that I don't forget. I think I might have been overserved. I don't know. The fucking bartender in this town is just completely irresponsible, going around serving people alcohol all goddamn day. Somebody should probably talk to his manager about that. Maybe have his license revoked. That'll teach him a lesson. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night being trivia night. I don't remember what the theme is. I don't know. I can't remember. Thank you, Moose Gal. Hey, I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else when it comes to eating food or drinking whiskey. There's no wrong way to do it as long as you're using your mouth and you enjoy it. It's fine. If you don't like lettuce and tomato, it's fine. It doesn't matter. If you want avocados in your sandwich, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Baseline reminder recap: baseline for the perfect burger, toasted bun, moderate amount of fat, a 10 to 20% amount of fat in the beef. I say you don't cook it beyond medium, but if you want to cook it beyond well, that's fine. Whatever, that's up to you. It's between you and your Lord, not me. Uh, but that's like the base. As long as the burger can be held in one hand and you're drinking the other, you're set. I mean, there's a reason you want the bread toasted so that it'll give it some structure and the condiments won't soak into the bun, but the juices of the meat can soak in, but not too much. That's very important. So it can't just be toasted like raw dog toasted. You got to put some butter on there. You got to lubricate the surface in order to properly toast that bread. Give it a layer of fat so that it helps to not have the juices penetrate into the bread. The juices stay where they're supposed to be, and that is inside the patty. So there you go. There you go. There's your perfect burger. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow night for trivia. We'll see you Friday night for music. And then we embark on our truncated summer schedule. Honest to God, I don't know what it's going to look like going forward, but I do know we will have our 600 subscriber fireworks spectacular for July 4th, somewhere in the neighborhood of July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and or 4th. So what we'll probably do is do it on the 2nd or 3rd, and then present an edited, fully formed show on the 5th or 6th, where we do our whole patriotic our whole patriotic event. I love July 4th. July 4th is my 100% absolute favorite civic holiday. It is our nation's birthday. It is a chance for us to remind ourselves of what it is that we value as a people. We do dramatic recitations of the Constitution of the United States of America. We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, do secure the benefits of liberty to our progeny, etc., etc. It's such a beautiful fucking document, beautiful fucking day. And then you get to go outside and watch an awesome fireworks show at the end of the day. It is great. What more could you ask for? I know what you could ask for. Perfect burgers and delicious whiskey. And we got both of those because I'm a scientist at heart. And when as a scientist, you got to sit down and be all like, how do you make a perfect burger? Oh, I know. Let's let's get to it and make it happen, shall we? And then somebody says, we shall. And then you're like, let's do this. And then you do it. And it's awesome. And that's how babies are made. What? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, I implore you all, be awesome to each other. Think with your whole brain. Love with your whole heart. Good night. We will see you tomorrow night.